Yo, what's going on, faithfuls? And we're live on all major platforms: YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, and Facebook. All right, and of course, we're back with a whole episode of the Faithful Empire that's powered by the Red and Gold 24/7. All right, so if it's your first time here, please hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications. All right, and of course, I want to introduce the fellas that came on here on the earliest Sunday afternoon for us, of course, for me and Mav. So, of course, I'm the guy Ryan. Of course, next to me over here, he's enjoying that weather in Mexico. What's up, Tone? The Rento's a GM, baby.
What's going on, fellas? What's going on?
Money Mav. And of course, over there in the corner. Oh, down here. Here you go. Down there, Paul the Hope. What's going on, fellas? What's going on, guys?
Not much.
And I'm gonna plug real quick. And you can follow Mav on the Convo with Mav Vacato. That's his Twitter handle page. All right. 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on Tuesday nights on YouTube and IG. And of course, you can follow Coach Ron at That Narrow Life as his Twitter handle. 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, Monday nights on YouTube and Twitter. And of course, coming soon, by SD, he said yesterday that he got a little glitches, but it's coming through. But I'll help him out if he needs me help him with it, no problem. So, and of course, got Paul over there going to 49 for Faithful UK, baby. Right there. Yep. That's his Twitter handle. And of course, the Club 85. So, what's going on, fellas? What's going on? Okay, let me see here. Of course, I know we got some news. We were talking about yesterday. I think I just catch up on the other guys, Tony and Paul. And I tell you right now, man, they have high hopes at Drake Jackson. They like him. They like him a lot. So, what do you guys think about Drake Jackson, first of all?
He's a solid kid coming from USC. He just wasn't used the right way, and that's the only reason why I think he made it to 61. So the Niners could grab him at the bottom of the second round. They misused him. They fluctuated his weight up and down. Teams got a little scared with that, but I think the Niners could have something special on his hands. I'm not saying he's a day one star, but he's a little raw. You got to work on a couple things with him, figure out what weight you want him to play at, and hopefully they just solidified the defensive end spot opposite of Bosa for years to come.
Yeah, I got you. What's up, Mav? Anything touch up on it, bud?
No, I'm pretty much good for right now, man.
Okay, Paul?
Yeah, just like what Tony said, Ryan. I mean, there was some issues about his weight coming into the draft, but when you looked into the tape and you looked into it, he lost weight because his coaches asked him to. He gained weight because his coaches asked him to. And the 49ers couldn't believe he was there at 61. And when we did Shank Club the other week and we were looking through the tape and the highlights, like Tony said, he isn't going to be a day one starter. We don't need him to. We've got depth on this roster. And this week, the news coming out with Bosa saying he's impressed with Drake Jackson's bend. That's all I need to know. So, yeah, I'm good with the pick.
That's great, man. That's great, Paul. Hey, Nick Cork is Tony. Let's see again from Nick Cork, the Hank Club.
What's up, Nick?
Yeah, so I watched the pressers. I don't know if you guys watched the pressers or not, but I tell you now, like Matt was saying yesterday, I forgot who it was till I remembered it. Ebucom. I tell you now, he enjoyed being Barbosa. That's what he was saying. It's not all calls towards him. That way he'll have to be double covered. And then of course he called Drake Jackson. He goes, damn. So he's unbelievable. And like Tony said, it's everything he wanted out of a defensive end. So I'm glad we got him. Really am. And of course, I wanted to touch up on yesterday, but the guys were talking. Kerry come in real quick about it, but Trey Lance looks better now than Jimmy Garoppolo ever did. The only thing he has to work on, they said, is accuracy a little bit. That's what they said. Just a little bit. So basically everything else is all fine with him. So his finger's all good. So
not worried about his arm fitness, Ryan. 22-year-old thrown for 3 days in a row. I mean, that arm fitness. I mean, I saw a couple of deep balls as well. I mean, come on, fellas.
I got you. It's all good, man.
Well, that's going to be one thing to come for years, arm fitness.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm very happy with Drake Jackson, of course, and I'm definitely happy with Trey Lance where he's going right now. I'm very happy about it. What's up, Coach Ron?
On that topic, Ryan, when you're talking about Trey Lance, obviously I couldn't jump on the show with you guys last night because I had my daughter, and I tuned in, I was on the comments, and a Steelers fan came at me on social media, and he was comparing Mason Rudolph to Trey Lance, and he was like belittling all 49er fans for saying like Trey Lance is the next savior, and I was like, why are other teams that bothered? This week I've watched all our OTAs, I've watched all the pressers. I don't look at other teams. I'm looking at my own team. So it just thought I'd throw that on there when you're talking about Trey Lance.
Sorry, I was going through a message real quick. Matt, you want to say anything about that, man?
I don't even want to feed into that, right? That sounds like straight fish bait. Mason Rudolph, really? No.
1 second, man. I didn't mean to interrupt you, bud. Tony, it's okay, but if you want to chop off, it's all right, man. It's all good. I thank you very much for coming on, though, man. All right.
My service is not that great out here.
It's all good. It's all good, man. It's all good.
All right, guys.
Nope. All right, catch you later, Tony.
All right, bud. Later, bud. It's all good, Tony. Don't worry about it, bud. Yeah, I mean, he must have really choppy where he's at, so it's all good. But I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to cut you off, man. I'm sorry, guy, man.
You good? I mean, I didn't even want to go on anymore.
Nah, to be fair, obviously I'm similar in mindset to Ron and my social media. I try and keep it quite light-hearted, try and keep it quite positive. So when the guy came at me last night, I was a little bit stunned because the former scout who shall not be named, I've had a bit of interaction with him, so as Shank Club, and everyone's entitled to their opinion. I think Ron has said that many a time. So the fact that he came at me about Trey Lance, and to be honest, it was quite late in the UK, so I switched my phone off. And when I've switched my phone on this morning, to be fair to the Steelers fan, he's kind of respectfully gone down a different avenue. But I just thought I'd throw it in there because I have friends in the UK, Ryan, who are Chiefs fans, Packers fans, Bills fans. They're more interested in Trey Lance than their own teams.
That's pretty bad, that is, man. Wow. Oof. That's I guess that's expected from all teams that are worrying about a good quarterback. So, I'm excited.
What's up, fellas?
What's up, Coach Ron? Come on in, bud.
What up, Ron?
Yeah, I know Coach Ron was on the show yesterday, so I know he knows what we talked about. So,
okay, so I got a question for you.
Clear and Mav, I didn't think Uselot was saying Carr was better than Rodgers. I just caught the back end of a conversation. So I got my phone out and I was like, if that's the way you're going, I need to shoot that down. So
no, you good on that one. But here's a question. How you guys feel about Snyder coming back coaching special teams?
Okay, Snyder's coming back.
I mean, as far as I'm reading right now, it says Schneider returns to coaching in the NFL after working as a Seahawks special team coordinator of the in 2010 to 2020. During that span, Seattle special team unit ranked first in the NFL in takeaways with 26, second in block kicks with 24, and fifth in touchdown scores with 14.
I guess that means he's really good, I guess, huh?
Yes, sir.
But it's all because was he good or was the players he coached good?
I mean, it's like we were talking about with the quarterback and wide receiver. It goes hand in hand. I mean, you're gonna have these players that's gonna either respect the coach and take what the coach is giving them and play hard for them, or just like, hey, this is just a job for me. I don't care what you're giving me. I already know much. I'm just gonna go out there and play. I mean, so.
Gotcha.
In other words, I mean, I feel like the man's very well respected.
Okay, Coach Ron. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, man. Sorry, bud.
No, you good.
Okay, Coach Ron.
Well, I mean, excuse me. We had one of the worst special teams in the entire league last year, and they went out and got missing pieces, or what they consider to be, important pieces to special teams this year. And pair them up with a good coach. I can't get any worse than last year. We were really bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know where we stood at last year.
Can't agree more there, Coach Ron. Can't agree more. I cannot agree more. Yeah, our special teams was real bad last year. Real bad. Because they caught us real bad. Every team knew somehow to get us on their special teams. So I'm hoping with the new coach we have, I hope it brings better than now I'm having a brain fart. What was our coach last year?
Hightower.
Thank you. Tim Hightower. Yeah, I somehow I didn't like the way he was for some reason. I don't know why. But every time they won, you see him on the sideline shaking hands with Shannon. You see him after every win. He just all right, we did it. Whatever. So I just hope he does better. Hope he does way better than Hightower ever did. Because our special team was bad last year. So,
I think we are. I told you guys. I know you guys thought I was playing around, but we needed a punter, bro. I know Paul and them like him. I mean, in all seriousness, like, well, I think we need a new punter. We need a new kicker. Like on like the field, the punts were just. He was good the first couple years, and then I think he was hurt last year. And sometimes I'm like, does he not punt it deep enough, or does he not place them in, to go, because he loves to hit, but I think I mean our kicking game was terrible. It seemed like we couldn't get any kickoffs for touchbacks. A lot of his kicks were like damn near the 5 or the 10-yard line. And then a lot of his punts, he just had a down year. So I'm looking to see a lot more from Mitch this year.
To be fair, Ron, I was on your page when we were doing the mock drafts. I was saying we should take a punter because I think you were right. I think he did go off last year. And I think with the special teams, Ryan, the regular season special teams was terrible. That fake punt the Seahawks scored against us, I didn't even see it because I went to make a drink because I just assumed nothing was going to happen. And the only saving grace for special teams was the fact that they got the touchdown against Green Bay in the playoffs. But it's refreshing as a 49ers fan to see them go out and address areas of concern. But I'm with Ron on this. I do think as Mitch is being kept, he needs to have another good year he needs to have a better year this year. What's your thoughts, Mav?
I mean, they just looked at lost to me last year, all over the field, not knowing where to position themselves. And I just hope we do better this year than what it was. I do recall that play. I don't recall it vividly like you do, but I do recall that fake punt against us. It was heartbreaking. It really was. I didn't see it coming, and neither did that damn defense. So, but.
See, when you say vividly, though, Connor, who you engage with, he lives around the corner from me, and he came to my house to watch the game because the just eased the COVID restrictions. So like I said, when we were punting the ball, I said to Connor, I'll go get another beer. And I was like off the chair. And then he was like, they've scored. And I was like, what on earth is he talking about? And then when you watch the replay, that's why it's etched in my memory, Mav, because you shouldn't be conceding those. Not a team like us.
Nah. I mean, would you?
Damn, that sucks.
Would you consider the punter to be the quarterback of the special team?
Yeah, I suppose that's a fair.
Yeah, I mean, anybody that's handling the ball is a quarterback. But it just seemed like a lot of the. What's up?
No, I was just saying because like the way you were saying we need a punter. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you, but at the same time, it's kind of like, damn, he's talking about this guy as if he looks at him like the quarterback of the special teams, and that's kind of that's a big title to put on your back.
Bro, he's in charge of field position. Of course he's important. Like, a lot of people disregard the kicking game, but it's such a critical piece to football, special teams. Like, a lot of the kickoffs, I don't know if it was just me. Correct me if I'm wrong. I much rather a lot of the kickoffs didn't even make the end zone last year. Or the last two seasons. I don't know. Maybe I need to go back and look at it. A lot of people don't pay attention to stuff like that, but when you kick it,
could it have been because of the ball placement change? Because I mean, they did back them up to where they.
Well, I thought he had a leg. I thought this dude had a freaking cannon of a leg. That's what I thought, and it just seemed like last year it wasn't there for whatever reason. I don't know if he had a hammy issue or if he was hurting down in the lower body, but I know his first season he was booming kicks, and we were getting a lot of touchbacks, which I don't mind. But last year it seemed like it was really noticeable that a lot of his kickoffs were like in the 10. And they were returning them for yardage. Like we had a really bad field position for the defense a lot.
I'm gonna go on the limb and say this. I'm almost certain that it's possibly he was trying to hold back because, like you just said, first year he was booming them, getting touchbacks. Next year he's trying to, I guess what I'm saying, decrease those touchbacks. So he's holding back his kicks and experimental. Actually, that's what I'm looking for. I believe his last year was experimental with his kicking accuracy and
fuck. We don't got time for him to be experimenting, bro. He needs to go out there and do what he's asked to do. Like,
that might be the coach that's asking him to do it.
So I mean, they got rid of Hightower. I mean, like, is that really a Hightower issue? Like, I think Hightower is more like Paul said. That botched punt coverage was for the Seahawks. That was bad. But a lot of Hightower's issues was kickoff coverage. They were terrible. They were terrible in kickoff coverage, and even some punt coverage.
They look
no. They just did. It was simple assignment football. I don't know if you've ever been on kickoff before, but like you have an assignment. Everybody has a specific task, and it just seemed like people weren't doing their jobs, and we were getting a lot of like we were already I seen a lot of possessions start at the 35-40 for the opposing offense a lot. Even on punts, I think he had a year where he's only been in the league 3 or 4 years where he was actually pinning them down pretty decent, and he was getting a lot of balls go our way. And they were getting pinned down inside the 10 and even pinning them down inside the 5 a lot. And then if you put that defense against the long field, we're good. I mean, we're in good shape, but it just seemed like he was shanking a lot. So I don't know if he had injury issues or he just had a bad year, but I think the punting and the kicking game of the special teams was a huge problem.
I mean, to be fair, Mav, before I answer, I was just Googling there. Considering we took him in the 4th round as well, like Ron said, we haven't got time for him to iron out. He was quite a high draft pick, and you expect that's so.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been on the coach too. Asking him to hold back some kicks and trying to not to get those. If you on the 40, hold back that kick a little bit. Try not to pin him back. too far into the end zone. I mean, it's a lot
Nah,
of
I
things
just think
that
Mitch
went
had a bad
into it.
year, bro. I mean, like you
He
said,
could
like
have.
yeah, he's
He
a
could have.
handler of the football. Like he could have had a bad year too. Like we don't know if he was dealing with injury. I
I mean,
know. I think
Alex
against
went.
the he got hurt
Oh, so
against the
yeah.
Broncos, but it was for tackling.
I
I
know.
forgot who we were playing.
I know
See,
the
it's
back
like
end of the season, fellas. He had a baby. Oh, well, his missus had a baby back end of the season because I remember seeing something about he was touch and go for a game, and then he managed to fly out. And I think it was a game where we didn't punt the ball, and Shanahan gave him a game ball afterwards. And you know, I've been there with the sleepless nights and the changing the nappies, and you know, you got to remember at the end of the day, they are all humans. These players, so hopefully he bounces back.
yeah, it
Hmm
sounds to me. It sounds to me that we're coming up with all these different like excuses or whatever for why he had a bad year. But hey, it could very well be true though. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with nobody on this one. But I've said this before in the past. When it comes to being an athlete, it goes hand in hand with your coaching, just the same way with a quarterback and a receiver. Um, I
What's up, Busy?
may be a hell of a running back. What's up? What's up? I may
Sorry
be
to
a
be
hell of a
late.
running back and end up on a team to where they don't know how to utilize me. They just tossing me over here, tossing me there. Oh yeah, I play kick return. Oh, we're gonna put him as a second kick returner or something. And next thing you know, got one or two players in front of me who don't know what they're doing and screwing me up. So I mean, it all depends. Goes hand.
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, like, so, I mean, we're not in the building, so all we can do is speculate, right? Like, you gotta wonder, like, what happened when you look at the tape or you look at the games. I mean, it's up to you to determine what you think the issue is. Specifically for me, it was that, like, I saw a lot of, I think Mitch had a down year. I think he can do better, though. I think he is fourth. He's a fourth round pick. He's obviously talented. He has a booming leg. I've seen it. So if he can get, have a bounce back year this year, and the special teams can cover, they went out and added some what seemed to be good pieces in the offseason for special teams top money. Oren Burks and then George Odom. I think they should be back at least in the top 10 in special teams. But that's what I saw last year. Mitch was a big contributor to it too, and they just weren't covering on kickoff or punt return.
Yeah, I was watching the Cowboys and Niners game from last year in the playoffs. I tell you now, the coverage on the one punt was terrible because I think it was either McCarthy's idea or the coach's idea to fake it on us, and the guy was wide open. That's how he got a first down. So,
and a lot of that, if you watch, Hufanga was in on a lot of special teams. He's still a rookie. He had good plays, but he did have a lot of missed assignments. He was out of his lane a lot, and it seemed to be like in the middle of the coverage team where a lot of the gaps were a lot of the time. There was people weren't in their lanes. They weren't sticking to their assignments, and we were giving up big returns. So
I got you. Hey, Melissa. What's up, girl?
I'm good. How are you guys?
All right. We're just talking
Good,
up
good.
on.
What's up?
We're actually
Just
talking about
joined.
special teams right now. So
You've just joined in time to talk about arm fitness. Trey Lance and his arm fitness, Melissa, because he's had 3 days in a row throwing the football.
That is the dumbest term ever invented. I want Ross Dwelly off of special teams, to be honest with you. The man has so many grabbing holds on special teams. It's pathetic.
He might
I
not
don't
be
think
on the
he'll be on
roster.
there no more.
He
Yeah,
might
I
not
don't
be
think
on the
he'll be.
roster. I think he's going to struggle. We've signed that lad from the Jets, haven't we? Croft,
Yeah.
the tight end. Dwelly, like you said, Melissa, he hasn't exactly done himself many favours. So I think the training camp coming up, Dwelly's got a battle to be on the roster. So you might not have to worry about him being on special teams.
I don't know. I just feel like this is like a Jalen Hurd and Dante Pettis kind of situation where they're going to hold on to the last gambit and we're going to lose somebody important that could be good on our team just because they have a sentimentality to this one player. Again,
So you don't think they've learned their lessons?
No, I honestly do not. I mean, D Ford still somehow is still here. Jalen Hurd, they held on to the bitter end. Dead Legs, they let walk all over them. I mean, this team has just this weird affinity for certain players and not wanting to let them go or deeming that their value is higher than what the league wants to give. So I like him to be gone, but it is what it is.
I mean, Shanahan has said D Ford is going to go. He did say that, didn't he, in his press conference? I think it's just a case of the time and of the physicality. And
yeah, he has to pass physical for. He has to pass that physical. Yeah.
I am hopeful that we have learnt our lesson. I think some of the coaching changes, some of the, the fact that we've gone with Trace QB1. I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to be positive on this side of the fans.
Oh, trust me, I've been there. I'm not saying that I don't have hope. It's just I'm having measured hope.
We all need hope.
I think this is it for Dwelly though. I think this is a year they're going to want to see something. I mean, they brought in Tyler Kroft, who he's not the greatest tight end out there, but I hear he does do decent in special teams. So for sure, I think this is a make or break for Dwelly, this training camp.
Now I have a question for you guys. Since so many different people have like a Shanahan kind of system now with all the assistants everywhere and Matt LaFleur being Shanahan based, where do you see Dwelly actually ending up? I would think
probably with the Dolphins.
Somewhere like Green Bay makes sense. I mean, Bobby Tunyon can't stay healthy, and they have like barely any weapons right now.
Yeah, speaking of Dwelly, they said Dwelly had better hands than not Warner and the other guy. He has better hands, so basically he's lined up to be number 2 after Kittle. Basically.
Yeah, I think they've brought the Jets lad in, Ryan, to do Kittle's blocking and to free Kittle up. That's what I do the Let's Talk Sports on a Thursday with Dan, who's a Jets fan. And when we signed him, he said, "You've signed that lad to block, which is going to free Kittle up." So I can only go off what someone who watched him last year is telling me. And I would be happy with that trade-off. Use George Kittle as a weapon instead of his blocking. Just saying, nice weapon for Trey. And obviously,
okay, so Paul, 85. Okay, so Paul, out of 100%, what's the percentage you see the 49ers using a 2 tight end set?
Oh, I've wanted one so bad since Jordan Reed.
I can see it. Shanahan likes a 2-set tight end, and I don't think they're going to see it on every snap, but Kittle last year, Mav, was used basically as an offensive lineman. And I think they've learned that lesson and they've tried to move away from that. So Kittle was an whole lineman last year. He wasn't a tight end. And anyone who took him in fantasy made that mistake and was like, why did I take George Kittle in fantasy football?
Because the year where he was healthy, he was in the top 7 of the football. Top 100 players of the league.
No, definitely though. This year you have to get him in fantasy this year.
Ron's been waiting for that one. That was premeditated. That run.
I said, I said what I said. Kittle is not going to be somebody you want to pass up this year.
No, at all.
The thing, I'm just gonna touch on Dwelly real quick because like everybody seems to like praise his hands. Okay, he has good enough hands to get himself on the roster, but then he doesn't do everything else that a tight end is asked to do. And like, what good does that do in the season? Because he doesn't play, so he's basically just taking up a roster spot. So, like, I need to see Dwelly do more tight end stuff than just have great hands at practice.
Out of tight ends we have after Kittle, who's a better blocker?
Charlie Warner.
There you go.
Well, yeah, they got Warner specifically for blocking, but I'm yet to see. I mean, I know Trey's hit Warner a few times on the outs, and that's all I've really seen from Warner as a receiver. So I want to see more route running from Warner, unless they're not asking him to do any of it and just strictly block.
But I believe Charlie Warner's going to tight end U, which should help a lot because
hopefully.
Yeah, I think the big key to our blocking is definitely Juice, because he can do all three phases. You can do blocking. There's three we actually talked about: blocking, receiving, under, and of course the other one. I guess it was just running one. So he could do basically all three of them. But he's gonna get paid no matter what, because I think he's on his third year right now. Contract.
So wait, so who's your top three right now at the tight end? Who do you guys think makes the team? Obviously, Kittle 1. Let's start at 2 and 3. Who's your guys'
Crawford
2 and
Warner.
3?
I got Crawford and Warner.
I'm the same as Mav.
Yeah, I'm saying it too. I got you. Yep.
I have Charlie Warner, George Kittle, and I just don't know about 3.
You have Warner over Kittle?
No, I had Kittle first, then
Oh.
Warner, and then whoever.
I was gonna say.
That's just the 2 tight ends that she likes right now.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Kittle, and then you have Warner.
The only person I have over somebody else that people think should not ever be is Josh Hawkins over Juice, but that's just personally my own preference.
Melissa's DMs were about to get blown up by Club 85 there. I was like,
Ooh.
Trust me,
yeah,
I'm
they were
used
about
to
to start spamming her.
I'm used to Club 44 coming at me that we can't get rid of the greatest offensive weapon ever, so they can come.
it's okay, Melissa. Mav's public enemy number 1 from
What's up, McQueen? What's up, girl?
Yeah, don't worry about it. You're not gonna take my crown. You'll be fine. You'll be just fine.
It's all love. It's all love. We all want the 49ers to win. That's what it's all about.
So, do you guys buy this whole thing about Brindle right now with all the talk of
We ain't got
pitching
no
him up?
choice. We ain't got no
Best kept secret
choice.
in the NFL.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Either you buy it or you don't. I don't buy it.
See, the thing that makes me nervous is they're talking at 2 different people at the center position right now. They're talking at Brindle and they're talking up Jason Poe. And that's never good when they're trying to force more than one person as like the camp darling or the guy who's standing out or is the favorite for the position.
Okay, so is it the organization that's talking about those 2 guys, or is it just the different media outlets?
It sounds like everyone is going up to the podium in the pressers because I haven't listened to all of them. The ones I've heard so far, they're all talking up Brindle. And then it was, I think, a slip comment maybe from Shanahan and Trent Williams that was talking up Jason Pope. But usually when there's 2 people being praised up, there's usually only like one that's really doing well in camp and the one that they're trying to like enamor the fan base with. Kind of like when it was 2020 and he had Ayuk and Pettis and they were trying to like temper Ayuk's impression to the fan base, and then they were trying to push Pettis as like this great practice receiver. And then one panned out and one kind of stayed on too long before we had to eventually cut him.
What's up, Pat McQueen? Ryan and Melissa, my Jersey peeps. Paul Mavin Niner.
Hi, Panama.
What's up? Nah, this what Trent Williams said about Jason Poe, that his first step off the ball was really quick. That
Yeah, and
he had good footwork.
And he was impressed before he even knew who it was that had been the one blocking. Yeah, I heard the same
Right. Because he was like, damn, who was that? I don't know. I feel like Brindle, I feel like that's who they're going to go with week 1. If they're talking so much about him. And I mean,
I don't want it to be Brunskill. I'm sorry. I like him being a swing guy at best. I don't like him at center at all.
Had to say it. Fun skill. I had to say it. You know who else says that too? So
Mose.
Yup, Mose knows, baby. Shout out to Mose knows.
Yo, why Panama so iffy about the O-line?
Yeah, why is that, Pamela?
Probably because Trent Williams is the only one that we know is going to start and actually produce, and we have no idea what to do with the other 4 positions besides hope to God.
I think probably because the interior line got handled against the Rams in the NFC Championship game, and then Alex Mack retiring was a big deal. So the open open competition at center is a big deal, and we still are yet to find out who Aaron Banks really is, and if Brunskill can, up his game, and then we have McGlinchey who's still hurt. There's a lot of question marks
So
at the O line.
Yep.
so are you looking at least 3 new faces on that O line or what?
I'm thinking 4 new
At the
faces.
minimum,
Honestly,
the
I
only
think it's
guy
gonna be
is
4 new
Trent Williams.
faces.
That's the only guy I can count on who's established. Everybody else is like everybody's waiting and seeing for training camp for the pads to come on
I
because they're
think
going against one of the best D lines in the league. So that's going to tell us all we need to know right there.
McGlinchey's probably safe to like the Seahawks or Denver, like a few weeks into the season. So I think right tackle's wide open. I think right guard is wide open. I think center's wide open, and I don't know if Jalen or Aaron's gonna get the push at a left guard.
Big floppy. Wow. Sound like something out of McDonald's or something.
Yo, it was really sad when there was safeties and corners making him face plant in 2020.
Yeah.
I think Jalen Moore, Aaron Banks, the sophomores. Those are the guys I'm more interested to see because I think I'm really excited about them. The guys they drafted this year, I'm excited about, but I still think they're about a year or two away.
So
So
what about Colton?
Yep, he's another one. McKivitz. So McKivitz, Jalen Moore, and Aaron Banks are the 3 dudes that I'm like, okay, it's year 2. I really believe they were good picks. They were just a year stashed, and they're going to actually contribute. And then the same thing for these guys this year. Like next year, I expect like Brendel and all these dudes to be like ready to plug in and take whoever's spot.
Now I have a question. Does anyone else think that it's probably maybe good that we only have Trent as the only stable part of our line right now, so that way they all kind of learn with Trey and they get used to Trey's habits instead of trying to like break free from being used to Jimmy's habits?
Making Swedish meatballs.
I'm glad you actually brought that up because
Yeah.
Go
Go ahead, Mav. Go ahead, bud.
No, I was just gonna say it really looked like that's exactly what they're doing. Like if you look at the entire team, like everybody is pretty much can grow with Trey.
Hey guys, I need to step away for a sec. I'll be right back.
No problem.
No problem.
I agree with Ron, to be fair, Ryan. Trent Williams has spoke glowingly of Banks, saying he's come back to training camp. He's looking 10 times better than he was last year. And I think the 49ers do draft players with a year ahead in mind, like Ron said. And I think it's a great question from Melissa about the O-line. Maybe it's a good thing that some of the old habits have gone out as well, because Trey and the O-line need to be in sync. Let's face it, last year, defensive coordinators could go 11 on 10 because they didn't count on Jimmy, did they? Jimmy wasn't going to be a threat out of the pocket. He wasn't a deep threat. But with Trey, 11 on 11, they have to take that into a consideration. And the O-line needs to play well to show Trey how he can play. That's just how I see it anyway.
Yeah, Coach Ron.
Yeah, like that's the beauty about football too. It's like Colton McKivitz is a guy that like he got drafted in the 5th. You saw his story. You seen his dad with the raccoon hat. I said immediately I fell in love with the dude, and I'm like, I hope this guy is successful, and he stuck around. This is the year we get to hopefully see that. Trent Williams with the Redskins, he was deemed a bad leader, terrible attitude, a selfish guy. Now he's on the 49ers with a great opportunity to show he's Hall of Fame in leadership as well, and he's taking on a brand new O-line. So these are a lot of storylines, everybody, that I'm looking forward to in training camp, because that's really what it is. It is Trent Williams being the vet on that line and taking these young cats under his wing, basically an entire unit. They're counting on this dude out there as kind of as a coach, leader, player, whatever you want to call him. But I'm excited to see how it's going to play out with the O-line.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing when Melissa said that. So I knew she was going with that. I knew exactly you were going with that. Because last year,
It was a huge storyline.
yeah. Because Trey is more of a threat than Jimmy ever was. Because now we have to worry about our offensive line not holding that much. They have to get used to a running quarterback instead of just a pocket passer all the time. Because when he runs away, that's one thing we have to worry about is one of our offensive linemen holding somebody because they're not used to it. That's what motivates us.
Plus, they said that the timing was completely off with blocks because they didn't know how Trey was going to move in the pocket. They didn't know how long he was going to hold on to the ball because, that was Jimmy's one thing that they held on to this whole time, is his quick release, and they kept comparing it to, like, Brady and everything else to try to make him seem better. So it's one of the more interesting under-the-radar topics right now about our O-line.
Yeah, I mean, like, line coverages are big. I seen Jalen Moore last year get pulled for missing coverages twice, I think.
Mm-hmm.
One against the Packers. Like, they benched him on the spot. So those are things you want to see, like, all right, because I believe Jalen Moore, Colton McKivitz, and Aaron Banks are NFL linemen. I really do. So I think this is a year where we get to see these guys in action, and I'm hoping I'm right about these three cats, man. And then hopefully next year we're talking about these same dudes that they drafted this year, like Poe, undrafted free agent, Donovan West, are still on the team. It's cool when you get linemen right, especially old linemen. That's a really hard position to get right.
Question is, who's going to go probably with School off this roster? Because I don't think all these guys are going to make it with the roster. And I think with School's issues with the Packers and with his injury history, I just don't see him making the cut this year.
School was out all last year, wasn't he?
Yeah, on an injury. Yep. He got hurt in
His
preseason.
ACL. Yep. That's right. He's another dude that's got a... And see that right tackle position's open, bro.
Am I the only one that thinks that believes that by week 2 of the preseason will be close to 53? That we'll know exactly who we're gonna be cutting and everything.
Yeah, I believe that. I do believe that. I do.
I think the work's cut out for practice squad. That's where they really got their work cut out.
Yep.
How many makes the practice squad, anyways?
We're that up to 11
That's
now,
a good
right?
question.
It's 9 or 11.
I know they just changed the rules for how many vets could be on your practice squad this offseason.
They've kept in the same rules from when they brought COVID as well. I think you can designate certain players on the practice squad that other teams can't take from you. And I mean, the O-line, before you move on, Ryan, I mean, as a fan in the UK, I watch all you guys. I watch all the content that I can absorb. And Brad Graham is someone that I've really watched over the last few weeks because he's no lineman. And he's been breaking plays down. And he isn't worried about the O-line as it stands at the minute. So I'm going off what he's saying because he seems to be a better judge than me. But it's exciting times to be 49ers fans. Like we say, Melissa, before you come on, other teams are talking about us and they're watching our OTAs and they're watching our training camp and they're not watching their own team. It's like, it's brilliant. Everyone wants to be us.
There's one thing I noticed, though, on the videos they have, slow ones, fast ones, whatever, that Trey Lance's arm is getting quicker now. It's a quick release. Because before he had a winder. Yeah, before he had a winder. Now it's a quick release now. He changed a little bit. And I think it's actually helping him out too. So a lot of people thought it would probably be different and more harder for him to do that. But he's actually adapting to it better, which I'm glad. Because I know that's what Shani wants.
See, what's funny, when you've started doing, my friends who are not 49ers fans are shocked that Trey's taken every snap in OTAs, even though for months I've been saying Jimmy's going to be nowhere near the team. Trey's been working to improve everything. Can you see that video, Ryan, off Grant Cohen, the slow motion one with Trey's throwing motion? And some of my friends are like, you've not been telling that. And I was like, I've been saying that for months. Yeah, you're just not listening to me, but it's great to see.
It's because everyone's buying into this whole media thing with freaking Acho and the rest of them with the one-play Trey nonsense.
I just don't want the reporters to give out our ideas to all the other teams that what we're doing. That's one thing I hate about the media. Because if they let anything out, people will know we're planning on doing each game. What play we got. That's one thing I might hate. But I guess that's the basic football, I guess. Play basic football. So.
It's not
Shanny's really good about all that stuff. Whatever gets out is supposed to get out. I mean, the dude don't even name a starter for crying out loud. But if you guys watch Josh Allen, throw, you're gonna see a lot of similarities, blah blah blah, to Trey Lance. So I don't know why everybody's up in arms about all this throwing stuff.
It's just something to use, isn't it, Ron? It's just something to critique him for the sake of critiquing him, and it's because everyone looks stupid because they said Mac at 3. So they have to find fault somewhere.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but like, we're not quarterback gurus. No one's a leave that to the quarterback experts. That's like a pitching expert. Like, who are we to sit here and just critique this guy's emotion? Like, really, bro? And then you guys got coming out with all these analytics. And I'm like, dude.
You know, the ones that make me the saddest are the ones that are former quarterbacks who really didn't do well in the league and are just ripping a young kid apart just because. No, the worst ones are like Robert Griffin III or Dan Orlovsky or the Hasselbacks. It's like, we get it. ESPN is so embarrassed that they said it was like a 99.9% chance that we trade up for Mac Jones. Like, they cannot get off their high horse and just let our quarterback be. They won't say one bad word about Zach Wilson. They won't say one bad word about Justin Fields, even though nobody feels comfortable with what the Bears have done. But it's like fair game on Trey Lance because they don't want to give up Jimmy Garoppolo, who always gets them clicks.
It's like Paul just said, they're invested in our team. Let them. I mean, we appreciate anyone that talks about the 49ers, whether it's good or bad. You're talking 49ers.
So like what Ron was saying, though, like I say all the time, Mav, like what Ron said, I'm a fan, live in the UK, I've never played a down of football. I love the 49ers, and I'm trying to get my knowledge up, but I'm a fan. If I had Brian Hoyer as my quarterback, I'd still be hyping him up because that's what fans do. So we're allowed to be excited about Trey Lance, but he's 22. Like Ron said,
I was hyping up Brian Hoyer.
Hey, I got up at 1 o'clock in the morning, Monday Night Football, and he threw a pick 6 against the Rams 7 seconds into the game. And I thought, do I go back to bed because it's 1 o'clock in the morning? But, when you live through that.
See, again, listen, I said it before. Patriot quarterbacks that are not named Tom Brady do not pan out nowhere else in the league. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. Mac Jones is going to flop.
Mac Jones started really struggling after half the year last year when people started coming after him. Like, that's a very underrated story. Like, everyone keeps saying he has the best numbers from last year, but that's because he was on the most stable team of all the main, 4 of them? Is Trevor,
5.
Mac, Justin,
5
and
of them.
Zach.
Do you guys think that's the best? Do you guys think Mac Jones, that's a ceiling, or do you guys think we're going to see more?
I think that's it. We might see a little bit more. I think that's it. For real.
Yeah, may agree with you more there, Pamela.
We all agree. Now, I think he's hit his ceiling. That was the problem last year, going back to that conversation. We'd have been happy with Mac at 12, but we weren't going to trade up to take him because he didn't have any more to go. It was more. I
don't even think that we would have been happy at Mac at 12. I honestly really think that Buffalo game, all shitting aside, I think Shanny was really shook and he was like, you know what, I can't be in this division and not have someone that can do more.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. That's when Shanahan got on board with I need to change when he saw Josh Allen. Rip was a new one. 100% agree with you on that, Melissa. We said that on this side of the pond because it was a late night game. And as much as you're hurting that your team has lost, Josh Allen played fantastic that night. And if Trey can be anything like that, that's what Kyle's hoping for. That's what I think.
And I think what made it worse was the Colts game because we had that big monsoon during that game. And Carson Wentz, who looked like mostly trash last year, played his ass off against us, and Jimmy Garoppolo couldn't just do anything in that game.
Yeah, I do remember that. I do remember
wasn't
that.
me.
You know
Connor.
what? That's
Yeah.
not even the worst one. I still see Revenge Tour coming up. I'm like, please, can someone just drop the Revenge Tour?
Thank you, Melissa. I was waiting for somebody to say that. To me, it's not revenge no more. To me, I'm done with it. To me, it's take 6. That's me. Don't know about anybody else, but that's me.
I like it, Ryan. I like it. You need to start getting that hashtag out there, Ryan. Start getting that on.
I will.
On
I will
socials.
too. I will. Don't worry about that. I
Take
will.
6, huh?
Take 6. Exactly what I'm gonna go for. Still, I'm not afraid of it either. I'm not.
How many Hoyer jerseys are out there, do you think?
Man got supporters, bro. Believe it or not. Let me see.
Yeah. You know,
Brian
did you guys see
Hoyer
that thing
jersey.
from the draft this year where all the guys that were different fans came and they all had Fitzpatrick jerseys on?
Yes.
From all
I
his
did see
different
that one.
teams.
Yeah, I did see that. I mean, to be honest, here in the UK, a lot of people pick their teams based on the quarterback. So the reason the Packers are so popular because of Aaron Rodgers and Fitzpatrick when he had that weird kind of like, was it when he was
Fitzmagic thing, yeah.
Yeah, and I saw that jersey, Melissa. It was right. To be honest, there was a lad in our group who had a Blaine Gabbert jersey, and we were like, "Why have you ordered that?" I don't think you got much wear out of it.
Don't say that,
So you
Pamela.
think there's
Do
like
not
a-
say that. No, don't say that. Please. Stay.
Don't tempt the injury gods. We have so
Please.
much issues with the injury
Don't
gods.
jinx it. That's why I never bring them injuries. I never bring it up. It's all good, Pamela. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
Sorry, Ron. Were you gonna say something about the QB?
Okay, Coach Ron. I'm sorry, bud. Go ahead.
No, I was just curious. I was curious.
I have no idea.
Well, to be honest, we did a poll on the 49er Faithful UK about people's first Niners jerseys, and I'm glad to report that I didn't see anyone say they'd bought a Hoyer jersey. So we're all right there, Ron. There was a lot of the most well-known players, but there wasn't any Hoyer jerseys. We might have to tweet that out after the show, Ryan. Anyone who bought a Hoyer jersey needs to tweet a picture and tag you in it, and then we can see.
Although I would love a Hoyer the Destroyer jersey, that would be awesome.
Like Stone Cold Austin style one, Ron. Like we've got back in the
Hoyer,
days.
and then like a sword maybe at the end, or like Hoyer the Destroyer.
You know what'd be more interesting is if we could actually get someone to admit that they went and made a custom Cousins Niner jersey because they were so certain, like Shanahan, that Cousins was going to be the quarterback.
Yeah, I would love to see how many people out there have Trent Dilfer Ravens jerseys.
I just like the idea what you said, Ron, about the sword, because it kind of reminds you of Drew McIntyre from WWE.
Get the merchandise out there. Like they said on Field of Dreams, Ron, if you build it, they will come. There's money to be
Yes, sir. Yep.
When you tweet this out afterwards, Ryan, people are going to be like, why have they spent 20 minutes talking about Brian Hoyer? What's these T-shirts? And why is Ron promoting the link?
I didn't know this.
Hoyer the Destroyer.
I didn't know he sold more jerseys than Johnny Manziel in 2014 as a Cleveland Brown.
For the Browns, right? The Browns are going to Brown.
His jersey sale was up 40% over Manziel.
Could you imagine that QB room? Brian Hoyer and Johnny Manziel.
Oh, God.
How Brian Hoyer jersey sales crowned a new king.
Remember the hype, though? Hold up. Remember the hype, though? Remember the offseason hype for Brian Hoyer? They were hyping that dude up, man. Like he was the second coming of Steve Young.
Yes, I saw that in the pressers. In the pressers, I saw that in the pressers.
And here's me thinking we were going to come on tonight and get all fired up and hyped up about Trey Lance and feel all confident. And instead, we're going into the depths of Brian Hoyer and pick sixes at 2 o'clock in the morning.
I'll take that number 2 spot. I could take that number 2 spot right there.
How long did Brian Hoyer's career? How long was Brian's career? It took us a whole quarter to realize he wasn't it.
Yeah, I'm saying Ron, that Monday night game was painful. I'd set my alarm clock wrong, and my friend rang me and said, "You're going to miss the game." And I'm literally talking. I switched the TV on, and his first pass, which was the first play of the game, was run back for a pick six, and I was just sat there thinking,
"Oh God,
that is terrible!" Like, really? So when you look fast forward to now, when people are going on about Trey Lance, and that's what I don't understand, why people were not 49ers fans. We're allowed to be hyped at what we could have at the quarterback position, and it's our team. So let us get on with it. That's just what I can't believe why.
Yeah, for me, I like that. Brock Purdy. I like the reason why we still have Nick freaking Suffield in that freaking. I don't know why we got him still, because he even said in practice he sucks. No TAs. He sucks. Throws to a friggin' another linebacker, another Jimmy G. You know.
And worse, it could be Nick Mullins.
There was some people wanting Mullins as the starter.
Yeah, that's true.
I remember that Raiders game. You know, when Kittle did his amazing one-handed catch, and after that game, people were like, "We found him. We've got our franchise quarterback."
Yeah, but everyone kind of wrote off that season after, like, Jimmy got hurt. Like, there was no pressure, because when the pressure was on and Mullins had to actually perform, everyone saw how horribly he performed in Sunday Night Football versus the Eagles. I mean, you didn't need another game after that, but then they kept forcing Mullins. Then it was worse. It's like, you know what? CJ might not have been a great quarterback, but then you put him in like the last 5 minutes, and they're like, "Well, CJ couldn't pull off the win." It's like you didn't even give him a chance to even try.
Yeah,
about time somebody standing for CJ better than Nick Mullins.
I was about to say, Mav, does anybody have an update? Because didn't Bethard get hurt in Jags training? I seen something about him getting hurt, but I haven't seen if there's been an update whether he was okay.
I don't look at the Jaguars ever since Bucky's been there, and the whole friggin' thing with Evan Ingram going there, and he's gonna be the second coming of tight ends. That stupid storyline makes me aggravated as all hell.
All right, so according to NFL Shop, right, the number one selling jersey for 2022 is Russell Wilson, followed by Josh Allen, Kenny Pickett, Devontae Adams, Tom Brady. Mac Jones sits at 6, Aiden Hutchinson, Tyrann Mathieu, Tyreek Hill, and Cooper Kupp at 10. Those are 10 top selling jerseys right now.
At least seven of them are definitely right for this side of the pond, 100 million %. As soon as you were saying that, I was thinking, oh, yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah, I've seen that one.
That's a great question, Pamela. It is. Shanahan is not a great quarterback evaluator. Do you guys think he is or not?
Nah. As far as like drafting and picking quarterbacks, no.
Yeah. And plus on the field too.
I think it's his ego. That's the issue.
Yeah.
Because the way he handicapped Trey in some of those games where he told him not to do certain things and he told him to have those really ridiculous scheme design runs that like almost got him destroyed in Detroit. There was something like hinky how he just threw him out there just to test him to see if he can take the brunt of another defense hitting him. Like it wasn't trying to set up Trey for his success. It was just trying to see how he handled pressure.
See, that's what I tell the fellas. That's what I tell the fellas all the time. That's my biggest knock on Shanahan, and it drives me nuts. He's stubborn and he can be arrogant and cocky, and it costs us, dude. I mean, I've been pretty open about how I feel about Shanahan with certain things like that, and I agree 100%.
Coach Ron.
The worst ones are like.
Sorry,
the worst ones were when you have like such a huge lead and like it feels like down to the last minute we might lose the game just because Shanahan can't just keep a lead to save his life unless someone's really just not good enough. You know how many games in 2019 did we almost lose because Shanahan just couldn't keep at it?
Well, look at this season, the Lions game. I have a friend, Melissa, who's a Lions fan. He came to my house to watch it. At half time, he was going to go home. By the end of the game, it was me hiding behind the sofa, and he was willing his team on. I thought we're going to lose to the Lions.
Oh my
first
God.
game. And he just Ron has been consistent with that, and I think it goes back to when they didn't draft Mahomes or Watson, and we took Thomas. And
The sad part about that was that everyone for about a month and a half was all over D'Amico Ryans, crying that the Jets had to fire Saleh right away because they needed Saleh back immediately. They wouldn't even let him just have a game to develop as a DC. It was just really sad time.
We can all agree we have become an impatient fan base.
I don't think that. I think there's certain fans that are level-headed, and I think there's just the ones that just want clickbait for clickbait purposes. So I think they're more like Twitter fans where they just want popularity and to get a bunch of hits and stuff.
I said this for 2 years straight. Jimmy G divided the faithfuls. For real. You either have a Jimmy supporters or Jimmy haters. I mean, if you talk bad, I promise you, if you say anything bad about Jimmy, oh, you're a Jimmy hater. Bro, you know what? I'm there. Let me be that. You can't never say nothing good about Jimmy G. Listen, why do I need to point out the good stuff that he did?
Why do you have to compliment him for every little thing that he does not wrong? There's no other quarterback that's ever been in this league that you have to praise him. Oh, look, he didn't screw up a quarterback sneak. Oh, he didn't screw up handing off a ball. There's nobody else in this entire league that has this overpowering reach over a fan base where you have to compliment everything he doesn't do wrong. I'm sorry, I'm sick of having to praise someone for doing his goddamn job.
Fabio Garoppolo can't do no wrong.
Go one.
He can't do no wrong.
I think the thing was, though, those terrible quarterbacks we've just been talking about, and then when Jimmy came and he showed those glimpses, we all wanted him to be the one, didn't we? And that's why people have struggled. Yeah, you're right, Mav. I have 2 Jimmy jerseys, but I'm a 49ers fan. I'm not a Jimmy hater. And Panama Queen Ryan's put a great comment at the bottom there about if you go back and watch the All-22 on the NFC Championship game,
Yep.
You'll be annoyed, and she's exactly right. I have been back and tortured myself with that game because that was the day I ruptured my Achilles. So I don't really remember the game because I was high on pain medication. I just remember we lost. So
the worst one was the Vikings game to start off the year. Oh, that was brutal to watch.
The good one with that one, Melissa, I was with Welsh Nick watching that live, and we had a fair few medicinal drinks that night. So I don't remember. The Vikings game was a good night for that.
Oh, that's what we call them, medicinal drink.
That's what it was. Hey Mav, that was my first night out in 2 years thanks to COVID, and I've never met Nick in person, and he told me that he's not a big drinker. My God, that man can drink, and he drank me under the table that night, I'm telling you.
Hey, yes, I do agree with this one no matter what. Do you guys agree with that one?
Yeah, he does all the damn time.
Yeah, I know he does. Yep.
Because he don't listen. Okay. Kyle Shanahan does not want to coach. He just wants to implement a system and let these veteran players go out there and deliver. That's really what it is. Trey Lance and this team that he has now, I feel like this is the truest. This is the first time that we're really going to see Kyle Shanahan, the coach.
Yep. That's a good one. Real good. Oh, yes.
Because he has to teach these players now. These guys are coming in fresh out of college. You may have some sophomores and some juniors on the team. He still has to teach them. If you look at the entire offense, Trent Williams, I would say, is probably the only truest veteran on that whole offense.
Yep. I do believe that, too. He's the only one I was wondering as a veteron that knows his offense.
You tell me anybody else on that team that's been there 5 years or more.
Yes, Pamela, that game almost pissed me off. I'm sure it pissed off a lot of Niner fans. If we would have lost that game, I would have been really, really pissed. I'm sorry.
That's the game they started coming back, didn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
When George Kittle missed that, was it a catch or it was a catch, right?
That was last year, right? Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It was
last
the
year.
first game. It was the first game of the
The
season.
first game when Joe Staley hugged one of the guys on the sideline after.
Panama, are you talking about 2021 Detroit, or are you talking about 2018 Detroit? Because both of those games were kind of ridiculous.
Probably last year's. I would think.
I think last year was more ridiculous because we was up. We
were
had our foot on their
Detroit.
neck.
We were killing them.
I think she's
they was
talking about
getting
that
up.
one because we talked about. I said Melissa, my friend, come through was a Lions fan, and bless him, he texted me this morning. Actually,
oh, she said 2018.
Oh, the 2018 one.
2018, huh? Okay.
Melissa was right.
I got you.
I don't too much remember that one.
Yeah, me
Refresh our
neither.
memories,
Me neither.
Melissa.
The only game,
Thanks.
the only game highlight I have is that it created National Tight Ends Day. That's how forgettable that game was.
It was similar to the last year's game. They almost came back on us. Like the score wasn't as high, but I believe they almost came back on us, and we were like, "What the hell?"
Dude, that game must have been terrible for real because I do not remember it at all.
Should I say it? Should I say it?
Say it.
Another Patriot and Falcon game, Super Bowl.
Oh, Lord.
Oh my God.
Damn, you know what? Come to think about it, you guys are absolutely right. Teams love to come back against Kyle Shanahan. Like they do it all the time.
It's the emotional roller coaster. That's what we do as 49ers fans.
Kyle's in the embodiment of Aaron Rodgers at the coach position. They play not to lose.
Oh man, listen, I would much rather us play from behind. I promise you, I would much rather us play from behind all season long than to have the lead and let another team come back. Absolutely. I don't know how you guys feel.
Absolutely.
Oh, you don't want to know how I feel. I spent numerous amount of hours getting to know Kyle Shanahan. I consider myself a Kyle Shanahan expert, a historian. I know that, man.
You heard it here first, everyone.
I knew Ron was
E9er,
coming out with that. I knew it was.
Put Ron's Twitter handle up. We need him. He's the Shanahan expert. Everyone, you heard it here first.
I knew exactly what he was.
Hey, I am.
He's the Shanahan guru.
I hold back a lot when Mikey's on because he doesn't like me talking bad about Kyle Shanahan, so I keep it to myself now. But
you know he's gonna watch it, so let it ride, bro. Let it go. You know he's gonna watch it later.
It's a compliment, Ron. I mean it is a good way. You are, again, I said earlier, you've been consistent, and since I've interacted with you on these kind of shows, you've always kept it real. Which that's why I'm saying put your Twitter handle up because you always keep it real. But the fact you've called yourself a Shanahan historian, that needs to be on your bio. And if that's not on your bio,
I'm gonna put it up. Yep, it's going on my Twitter handle. Shanny historian. That's what I do. That's what I majored in.
Yeah, I do need to make some updates to my Twitter handle.
So, Ron, you've got your Twitter handle sorted. You've got your new Brian Hoyer to destroy your t-shirt. On your merchandise line, buddy, is going to fly off the shelves, man.
Oh, it's going to pop. It's going to pop. I'll get back to y'all when I'm in Cancun off my sales.
Tony over there is chilling right now, enjoying the hell out of that sun.
It was.
Yeah, that's where I got the Cancun idea from. Was my man Tony over there just enjoying it?
Yeah.
Oh God, the Chiefs game.
What about it?
Panama just brought it up.
Oh,
so I mean, like, look, we can sit here and talk about like Kyle Shanahan all day long, and like what could have, right? Here's what I'm interested to see is. Let's just say Trey Lance works out, right? Let's. We all, a lot of us believe he is. I think he is. But let's just say he has the command that we all expect him to of the huddle of the offense, and he goes out there and he starts seeing things that he wants to change and calling audibles. That's what I want to see. Can Kyle Shanahan coexist with Trey Lance if he becomes the star all we expect him to be? Because to my knowledge and to what I've seen Kyle be is a control freak. And that's that's what I'm interested to see.
It almost sounds like you're trying to say if Trey Lance become the star power that we think he's going to be, could he cost Shanahan his job?
No, well,
Could he
not
be?
cost him his job. Like, I've always been curious. I think that we got our answer now. I think it was always, to me, it was like, does Jimmy handicap the playbook for Kyle, or just which one is it? Who's at fault here? But anywho,
I don't think
with
Jimmy
Trey
know how to
Lance,
read
it's
that
like,
book.
let's just use I'm fumbling on my words here because I'm doing something, so I apologize. But let's look at Andy Reid and the Mahomes relationship. Andy Reid's he's a different type of coach. He knows the talent he has at quarterback, so he allows him to. He's a little bit more flexible with allowing Mahomes ad lib on the field. I don't see that at all from Kyle Shanahan. Now, if Trey Lance becomes undoubtedly like elite quarterback material, are they going to wrestle over control of the offense? That's what I'm interested to see. And I know this may be a few years down the road, but I'm curious to see how that's going to work out.
Do you know where I put Andy Reid at? I put him in the same space as Lombardi. He's a teacher. He doesn't just teach you the game, he teaches you life as well. When you look at Kyle, on the other hand, he's got to have the right pieces to work. He just needs the players with the skills that's going to implement his well, not really implement, but going to solidify his position as who he is. I think that's why it's working so good.
No, I mean, so Kyle, I kind of disagree because Kyle is a teacher. Like, Kyle will talk to you about football till like you run out of time. But I mean, he's a teacher, and then he expects his coaches to do the coaching. Andy Reid's just a different type of coach. Like, he's a coach and a teacher, but when it comes to like the on the field stuff, the way he like drafts his players, he allows his players to have a little bit more of flexibility, especially if they're all pros, to like ad lib on the field. Kyle Shanahan is more like, no, we're gonna do what and that's how his dad was. It's like, we run our scheme. It works if you do what I tell you to do. So that's what I'm curious to see. It's like, if Trey Lance goes out there, and I mean, he's executing the playbook the way he's executing it, but then there's certain things you see out there as a quarterback that you may not agree with on a certain play call. How does Kyle handle that? So that's what I'm curious to see down the road if Trey Lance does, work out.
I think he'll be more relaxed with him.
Yeah, but I also think that Andy Reid had to change because he was roasted by the Eagle fans. Like, how many times he got that close and couldn't pull it off? Like, there wasn't real respect on his name until Patrick Mahomes stole the Super Bowl from us. Like, and I also think that it has a lot to do with Trey as a person. I don't see Trey as a person ever pulling an Aaron Rodgers and trying to circumvent his coach.
No, I'm not saying it in a negative. So that's a great point because, like, I think Andy Reid, he did learn from all he went through in Philly, and like, he adapted.
Yeah,
that's always been my knock on Kyle. Is like, I feel like he's stubborn as an individual, and it's like sometimes it's like I want to see him grow in certain areas.
No, I get you. Like, I live in New Jersey, like Ryan does, so I remember the Rex Ryan days, both when he was a Buffalo coach and as a Jets coach. And
I'm sorry I had to witness that.
When you have a famous father who's a coach like that, I think that you fall in love with it as a kid, and it's very hard for you to break free from what your dad was successful doing and kind of moving past what worked for your father. So what I'm more worried about is Kyle pulling a Robin and Rex Ryan and not being able to move on from his father's system.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I think you're right, Ron. I think that's what a lot of fans are waiting to see when Jimmy moves on. Was it Jimmy or was it Kyle? And Ron said that before, Melissa, on a couple of shows I've done, and Like you said, only time can tell. I think I've seen signs in this offseason that he's slowly, he's changed a few things around. He's changed a bit of the coach and stuff around. But historically, Kyle, like Panama said, he doesn't trust his rookies. That was the problem last year. Like with some of the draft picks, Ambry Thomas, he didn't seem to trust him at first. And then he threw him in at the end of the season and Thomas had to sink or swim. And luckily he swam, especially with that pick against the Rams. So let's hope this year he can totally just let Trey play. And like Ron said, what happens if a player breaks down, but Trey's the one that rescues it? Is Kyle's ego going to allow Trey to have the glory?
Yeah, because like Kyle has a specific type of player he looks at. Like, he's not making all the picks, but like we talked about earlier, there's been certain players that just he has a soft spots for, or whatever the case is. And it's not even specifically to drafting, but I think he can be stubborn in a lot of areas when it comes to coaching.
Yep.
So I want to see, and that's what I've said the entire time with Kyle, like I want to see that part of his game change, because there have been games where he has been at fault. There's been things where he should be taking responsibility for where I haven't seen him take responsibility. Like, for example, going out and saying we just didn't execute. They didn't execute. To me, that was like my game plan was good to win, but the players didn't execute it. And those are things where like those are part of like Kyle's just personality that like kind of like rubbed me the wrong way. And he didn't invent football. So that's where I want to see growth with Kyle as a play caller. And if he has this kid in Trey Lance now who can go outside of what he's being asked to do, and if a play does break down and he does something that like Kyle ideally didn't want him to do, but it worked, how is Kyle going to start handling that? Because Kyle seems to be like he wants to be the center of the universe with his scheme. And sometimes I felt like that kind of overshadowed Jimmy's confidence.
Hey, Ron, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Do we really think that Kyle and Trey is the thing to worry about? Because my bigger worry is Kyle versus whoever becomes our next DC. Because D'Amico's made it obvious he wants to be a head coach. So are we going to have a strong enough presence on defense to go up against Kyle and not kind of kowtow to Kyle? Because that's what Saleh did.
Yeah, I think the biggest relationship I'm concerned about is Kyle.
One of my worst memories from 2020 was when Saleh was up at the podium. They're like, they're asking him for updates on his injury players. And he's like, I have no idea. You have to ask Kyle Shanahan about that. Like, it's really bad when the face of your defense doesn't even know what's going on with his own players.
Yeah, but right now the number one priority for me anyway is the development of Trey Lance.
Okay.
And his like you got someone asked us earlier, like, does Kyle have the ability to pick a quarterback or like develop one? And I mean, right now with Trey Lance, that's what I want to see is like, is this kid, is Kyle the right guy for him? It's not really so much is Trey Lance the right guy, is Kyle Shanahan the right coach for this kid? That's what I want to know.
The words right out my mouth right now. Like, if you think about it, man,
exactly what I was gonna say.
He's surrounding himself with the right coaches this year to help him build this team to what it needs to be. So I mean, I can see the worries about the next DC, but I believe it'll just be promoted from within anyhow.
Okay.
Yeah. So, those are some of the moves that, like, when we had a show the other day where I said, like, no, I was applauding Kyle because, like, those are some of the moves I wanted to see. Like, is he surrounding himself with people who are, like, is he being subjective now? Like, is he actually, like, taking other people's opinions? The Anthony Lynn hire told me a lot about where, the direction Kyle's going in. So I was like, okay, maybe he is learning and he's taking input and he is changing. So.
How many former head coaches we got on that staff right now besides Anthony Lynn? That's it, right? Just Anthony Lynn? former head coach?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's just Anthony Lynn.
Going back to what Melissa said earlier, though, wasn't Fangrio in one of the OTAs? Like, wasn't he just there kind of milling around? And that's quite interesting if Ryan's is going to move on. Like you said, Ron, is Carl surrounding himself with the right people already looking to make that, transition? So a lot to be excited for this season, guys.
Yeah, there is, man.
Yeah, because OTAs is done. Kyle Shanahan called it. And basically, we did the same thing last year. We did the same thing. We cut it short. So basically, he sees what he saw, and I guess they want to kill it out and just move forward. They know what they got, so they're wait till July so we can get training camp going and be on the pads.
The only people who are fuming that it's been cancelled is these boys' residency, because how they got all the players to wear their hats. And as you've probably seen on my socials, we love them in the UK because they're quite hard to get hold of. So I bet residency were like, why have you cancelled it? We need to see more of our hats on the players' heads. But I'm glad they've cancelled it because they don't need to do. They're seeing what they needed to see. Trey's looking good. Let the players have a bit more off-sit time, ready for training camp.
But I like those hats, though. I do like those hats. I really do.
Yeah, the best one was the one Trey was wearing, the one that had the white and the black.
Yeah,
it was the SF.
Yeah, I saw that on the presser. Yeah, I saw that. Yep.
So for out of interest, Melissa, I don't get paid by the company. You'd think I would, the amount of tweets I do, but I won the red one because
I know you won it. I was so angry. I kept trying over and over and over with the Fourth and Gold podcast. I tweeted about it. And I would tell people about it, and everybody it seemed to won besides me. And I was like,
so
Pamela, don't make me jealous. Don't make me jealous, Pamela.
December,
Come on, don't do that.
It didn't arrive until April. And then when I got it, and obviously all the 49er faithful UK were like, where did you get that hat from? The shipping fees are more than the hats. Yeah. So what we've worked out on this side of the pond, if you order 2 or more, the shipping fees are the same. So what you're seeing is a load of people are clubbing together because the shipping kills us over here. But
nice.
So
that's smart.
There's one lad in our group, Gary, definitely has every single hat. He must be absolutely minted. But Panama is correct. That is
there's a Warriors color?
There's a Warriors color, yeah. So
yes, there is. I saw it. I saw it already. Yep.
I need that to go with my Steph Curry jersey because I've gone all in on the Bay Area teams. Why not, eh?
Hey, Paul.
Mav, don't be jumping on that bandwagon now.
Paul.
No, I'm not on the bandwagon, man. It just sounds cool as hell. Just the hat.
Well, do you think that the German game's going to help you guys get more merchandise over there in the UK area?
Well, to be honest, the 49ers have reached out to our group because we've got the international market right. So obviously they had Lee over in Vegas, Lee Gowland. I was supposed to go, Melissa, but I couldn't fly because of the medication I was on. So Lee announced a draft pick. And I'm hoping that the merchandise is going to improve over here. So, for example, Ruby, my 9-year-old, Breezy, sent her $20 to buy a hat.
Yeah.
When on the internet, you cannot buy a kid's hat in the UK for the 49ers. You can go on the 49ers.com and you can get them for like $12, but the shipping is like $40. So it's going to be like $60 for a hat for a 9-year-old. And let's face it, that hat isn't going to last very long on a 9-year-old's head. So that's some of the things that we've put forward to the 49ers that they want to see it grow in this country. The merchandise needs to be, because like with these, like I said, it's a labour of love. And, Welsh Nick, he's going out this year to 2 games, I think. I've told him to take an empty suitcase so he can put some stuff in that suitcase and bring it back.
Didn't you guys have Hodges flag for one of your meetups?
Yes, and we've started doing our own flag there. So we started getting them knocked out. But Nick's coming out with Nick Shank Club, and I think they're coming out for 2 games. I can't remember the games off the top of my head, but they're coming where we play 2 home games quite close. Maybe it's the Thursday and the Sunday. So Welsh Nick will be out at Levi's this year. That'll be awesome for him.
I think he was talking about the Dolphins game, wasn't he?
Yeah, Dolphins. I think Tampa Bay. I'm pretty sure those are 2 games he was talking about. I think, if I remember correctly.
But we have spoke to residency as well, Melissa, and they're hoping to be able to get the hats cheaper over for us, like, maybe he's a bulk discount, because I have hammered it on my socials. I'm not going to lie. I've absolutely hammered Residency, and they've been epic. They've retweeted, they've got in touch. And it was kind of proud to see the players all wearing them, because they're not affiliated to the 49ers. I mean, I think Trent Williams and Debo were the first players to wear them.
Mm-hmm.
So I do love mine, to be fair.
And to bounce off your daughter, I want to say happy birthday to Rubes. Is she there?
Well, no, the downstairs you have to be quiet. So, to be fair, her birthday was back in the 27th. So if you put that comment up, Ryan, that someone just put in, the Notorious Gav, he's one of the guys from the UK. So that's how much it costs with the shipping per hat.
Wow, that's definitely more than ours over here. Definitely more.
So, as Tracy will be watching, I did not pay that for this. We went in on the Memorial Day discount. I think it was
No, you were one of the winners. You, Mariah, Taryn from FIFA Pod, all you guys were winners from the 4th and Gold giveaways, because they had a partnership.
That was the red one. So I bought this one. But I bought this. One of the lads in the group he had a 20% discount code, and a few of us chipped in and got them shipped over. But there's a lot of people in the UK since then have said, "Oh, where do you get them from?" But like he's put there, he can get a jersey. You're going to pick a hat or a jersey. You're going to go for a jersey. And that said, Trey is going to be my jersey this year, but I'm holding off just before the season starts.
You get a $40 jersey less than $80.
Depends. Sometimes you can, yeah. I got
that. Oh my god!
I got that.
Where do you shop at?
There. I got that Kittle one off eBay.
Oh, let's get one that cheap. Jeez.
Yeah, I got that
we
one
spent
last year.
over $100 over here, so. Sorry about that. Paul. I'm sorry, man.
Those are nice, dude.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Hey, how much is it going to cost me to send you my my brand new Brian the Hoyer the Destroyer merch?
You get that website up and running, Ron, and I will promote that for you. You know that. You're my man. I've got your back. I'll get that tweeted out for you. No problem. It would be funny if we all had a T-shirt made up with that on, and then the next red and gold, Ryan introduces us all in, and we're like that. Brian,
I love you. I love you guys, but I would never wear that. That pissed me off so much.
It's got to have a sword next to Destroyer, though.
Starting
or
it's
not authentic.
Starting off 0-9 just because he was so in love with Kirk Cousins. Oh, God.
Do you know what's going to be funny? When Ron knocks those T-shirts out, Brian Hoyer's going to trend on Twitter, and he's going to have no idea why he's trending. He's going to pick up his phone and be like, hang on, what's going on here?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to get him trending for sure.
That's nuts.
I'll be very proud to do it for you, Paul. Don't worry about that, man. I will definitely do it. Hashtag it and even promote it.
I'll retweet it. I just won't wear it. I'm sorry. I can't do it.
I was actually curious. I was going to ask you too, Paul, like, how did the shipping work out there? Now I know.
It is expensive. I mean, Fanatics have been better, but it's still not ideal given that we are the international market. And obviously, if you know your English Premier League, the 49ers have got shares in Leeds United, which is a Premier League football team. So they've got the infrastructure if they go through Leeds, which is about 50 miles away from me. So I'd rather it be Leeds than London. But you'll see the 49er Faithful UK, we don't care how much it costs. We get our shirts, we get our hats. We love to rep. I wear Niners gear all year round. And anyone who follows me on social media will see that.
Yeah,
Nick Welsh has a P.O. box though, right?
Yeah, so there's a thing, Ron, called Get It Shipped International.
Yeah,
so
I know about it. Yeah.
Welsh Nick gets all his he spends loads more money than me. His collection is unreal. I mean, he's got a full-size signed Kittle helmet that he was very proud of. And when he does the shows and he's got his glass cabinets behind.
I know. Yep.
Oh, you can see it.
Yeah,
nice
Tracy goes, no, don't be getting any ideas. You're not going to be like Welsh Nick. You're not having them in our house. I can hide a jersey in the wardrobe, you see. I can't get away with a full-size helmet.
Yeah, I know a lot of things get flown over to you guys because I knew you guys are all in a big pond. You guys are one bet island because you showed me all your places where you lived at, and I tell you right now, you live farther to Nick Welsh and Nick Cork. Nick Cork and Nick Welsh almost the same part, but you're way higher.
Yeah, he took us on the tour.
Yeah, Mav knows about it. He was there.
What? I missed the tour? I've been dying to know where everybody lives.
Bro, you missed
I told
the
everybody we
tour.
were doing a recording. Told you that.
He showed us his whole building where he's at. Then he went around, showed us where Ashley lived. He showed us where Paul lived and where Nick C lived. I'm like, wait, God, you guys all spread it out.
Of course, Mav, UK jail.
yeah.
Well, what you'll see, Ron, in a couple of weeks, because we've just started producing the flags, we've asked everybody who gets a flag to take a photo next to their landmark. So if you live in London, Big Ben, Buckingham Palace, I'm not sure what Welsh Nick will get, but then we're going to put a map together to show where everyone in the UK is, because the 49ers are obviously coming over here. So we're excited to see what it brings. I mean, we never thought in a million years, Melissa, that we'd have one of our group in Vegas announcing the draft pick. I mean, that was
right. That was awesome.
I actually thought that was going to happen because the way you and Nick Ludlam have teamed up together has just made everything much, much bigger. I think what really helped was that you guys would have those like big group shots, and then you guys retweet it, and then have even like Carl or non-Niner fans kind of retweet your stuff to get your stuff really out there.
I mean, I've worked hard in the last 6 months on social media, so I have increased my following, and I run the 49er Faithful UK account. So obviously I've connected with Marv, Ron, Ryan, yourself now, and I'm happy to retweet all your stuff, like, you know, Ron's show.
Hey, Paul, what's that guy's name? New Jersey's JAV. What's his name?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Gavin.
I think it's Gavin, yeah.
Okay.
So,
now, all you have to do is we're proud of him getting a nice juice jersey. Nice
Juice has a lot of love on this side of the pond, I'm afraid, Melissa.
I like you, Gavin, but I hate Juice.
Oh, you hate Juice?
I hate Juice. I want Juice to be a Jet or a Dolphin so badly. I can't tell you how much I've wanted him to be traded away.
Why?
Here we go. Okay, did you like William Floyd back in the day though?
I like Bruce Miller. I like Juice originally. It's just what really, really pissed me off was 2020 and 2021. That was like it for me. I'm sick of Juice being like this overrated thing where he's being used as a running back or a quarterback sneak or some other thing. And what I really hate most about Juice is that fans just will not talk about moving on from him. Like, he's the most overpaid, overrated player to me. Like, I can't stand it.
Nice to meet you, Gavin.
Good to see you, Gavin.
Tom
Yes, I know we have. Trust me, I have you, I have Taryn, I have a bunch of people who know exactly how I feel and have just agreed to disagree on with it.
I can't believe what I'm hearing.
Rathman.
Hey, at least that conversation don't get you split up into two different fan base.
No.
You know
I'm just kidding. It don't matter none to me. I respect it.
I just, you know what? It drove me crazy because like everybody was trying to ship off Bosa, everyone was trying to ship off Kittle, everybody was trying to ship off Fred Warner, everyone was trying to ship off all these people on Twitter, and it baffled me to no end that you could not even think of the idea of Juice going. Like, everybody was like, we have to get our picks back. We gave away too many picks. It was this whole big thing. And for the life of me, I never understood the power and mystique he had over the fan base. Like, almost worse than Jimmy.
Most people that talks about draft picks, oh, we got to get them back and all that, they don't even know how to use a draft pick. They don't even know what it's really used for. It's
exactly. Like, if you really think about it, Kittle's the only draft pick we have still from the 2017 draft. There's not one left besides him.
That's true.
DJ Jones is now a Denver Broncos, so everyone is gone.
I mean, how bad do you think the team is gonna flip next season?
I think it's going to flip a lot because we have still a lot of one-year deals signed here.
I like that, Gavin. Uncle Juice. I like that. I do.
Yeah, that's the same argument we had for Sanu coming back. It's the same argument why Richard Sherman stayed here. At some point, we have to. At some point, we just have to admit that our team has been way ass injury prone, and we can't keep giving up roster spots just because these guys have been around the block and are good people who are good to mentor.
I mean, why would you want to keep mentors when you have no one to mentor?
Exactly. Absolutely.
So I get it.
Okay, Mav, really? No one to mentor? Let's stop this shenanigans right now. Let's stop this shenanigans.
I'm going based on what she said. You know, why are we keeping all these guys roster spot?
I'm still stuck on what she's saying.
But it's true. Think about it. At cornerback, like how many people we kept flushing through and wouldn't develop the young guys. At receiver, we wouldn't give anyone really a shot. I mean, this year we have hope that we're finally moving on from this vets first and rookies only on the basis of being screwed out of any other possibility.
I mean, look, if you don't see the value in what Juice does.
I'm not saying I don't see the value, and I'm the first person who will say his hit on Minkah Fitzpatrick is one of the most beautiful things to witness. I'm just saying I don't have the value of him where I put him above anybody else on the roster. That's my point. I don't put him above a Kittle or a Bosa or a Warner or these other people. I think shouldn't be just traded away because 1 week they just seem to piss off the fan base, and all the Twitter trolls are pushing the fan base to say, oh, well, we should get rid of them because they're too injury prone. I don't think there should be one player on this roster that is unanimously saying that, oh, we can't move on from them and that we shouldn't try to get value out of them.
I guess my thing is
only true fullback in the league right now. They don't even have fullbacks in the league no more. He's like the only.
Well, no, they got Ricard from the Ravens, who I really like. He's
there's a fullback on the Giants still. I don't remember his name. Derek Watt is still on the Steelers, and
but
the Ravens usually use a tight end in the halfback position.
No, so Ricard is the only one I know that's like at the Juice level. He doesn't catch like Juice, but like he does everything an all-pro fullback would do. So I guess what I'm saying is like if you don't find value in the fullback position, then like I
value the fullback position. I don't value a player above being approached as something that we should get value out of if we could. I think it's.
I don't like. In what
I guess my. To keep
in what scenario would you get rid of them? Like, why would you get rid? I guess I would want to know is like, what scenario would it be beneficial to get rid of them?
Well, in the scenario that the last 2 years, we haven't been. I don't know how to say this. I think that if we develop our offensive line, we won't need Kyle Juszczyk so much to call out different assignments on the field. I don't think we're gonna need his blocking as much, and I think if we're going to be signing these bigger players like a Bosa, like a Debo, like everyone else to these big contracts, I think it makes sense to start giving a Josh Hockett or some other kind of fullback a chance to prove themselves in a bigger role so that way we can move on and our cap isn't so strapped to one player who isn't featured very much as a weapon. So it's not that I devalue the position or I don't respect what he's brought to the team. I just don't think that the one player should handicap our team anymore.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Makes sense.
I guess Melissa did it right. She explained everything. We're all good.
Trust me.
Well, no, I mean, no one. I don't know. No one's here to argue. Like, I'm just trying to understand where she's coming from.
It's all good, man.
Trust me,
we don't need to play a peacemaker. I'm asking her. I'm curious to where she's what angle she's coming at. And that's all I wanted to know.
It's all good. Got your own, bud.
Trust me, we're good. You are not anything. Actually, you're probably one of the people who took it the best because a lot of people just have this weird affinity for him.
No, all you guys.
Yeah, don't trust me. I 100% disagree with you, but I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and argue with you.
Like I said, I respectfully see that you want him to stay, and I like if he's one of the 53 again, I'm cool. But I really like Josh Hockett. I really like what I've seen from him, and I really wished he gets his shot. So that's my thing, but I can understand how people don't want to move on.
I'm not married to him. Like it's indifferent to me. It's indifferent to me. Like I can see why you're coming where you're coming from. Like I can totally understand, and I can see why someone would fight and explain why he's so valuable to the offense. Now, like I think what I'm taking from what you're saying is like maybe even if they changed up the way they do things on offense, like he's not that critical of a piece like everybody wants to point him out to be. Yeah, I guess you could just argue both ways. It's not something where you absolutely have to land on something.
See, I think the reason that Kyle Juszczyk has been really important is because we haven't had a stable center and a stable offensive line. Like the whole time Shanahan's been here, it's just either been injury or it's been some other reason why it hasn't really worked out. So I think if we pick the right guys and we develop the right guys, and we could be able to start kind of slowly move on from him.
And just when we were,
I don't know.
That comment comes in, and Melissa's about to.
I'm ready for it.
Gavin, you know what? He hasn't really had that much experience. Like, I mean, sorry, but Josh Hockett didn't really have like much field experience against a different team than the Niners until last preseason. He didn't have any real experience against anybody else except for the Chiefs and I think the Raiders and the Chargers games. So, I mean, Charlie Warner, all these guys, they have to develop over time. Like, Azeez Al-Shaair didn't really burst out until both Fred was having a down year and Dre was out on injury. Like, these guys, sooner or later, have to be given a chance to see either sink or swim. And if we're so dependent on Juice, how can someone else even attempt to try to usurp him if they never even get a shot?
Yeah, I just my concern with that is like the fullback in Shanahan's offense is such a critical piece to what he wants to do and what he's trying to get from the defense. Like he wants to see coverages. Are they in man? If they're going on a zone run read to the right, it's obviously Kyle Juszczyk coming back to the left to make that black to seal the edge. I don't know that you can afford a younger guy or someone who, I don't ever really see mistakes from Juice. And that's one position I know that's sound, and it's such an important position. So like I get it. Like who pays this guy $4 or $5 million a year? Who pays a fullback that much money? I get that. I completely understand that.
I feel like we need him more this year than we've ever done.
Yeah, what he does to the offense is and he's so sound. Every assignment. When was the last time you actually saw Juice miss an assignment? Since the time that he's been here.
That's true.
And then to give a young guy because the fullback position in Shanahan's offense, obviously it's to pick up on what the defense is doing when it's pre-snap motion. He's going to go in motion. He's going to try to misdirect. It's a lot of misdirecting. So if we're running a zone scheme to the right side of the field, everybody's going that way. You're trying to get the defense to commit. Boom. You see Kyle coming left to lead block. One step and go. And if you miss that block, I mean, you don't really get a gain, or you get the defender an opportunity. More like 10 out of 10 times, Kyle makes that block, and it's a 10, 15-yard gain. So that's why I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, this guy's worth every penny. He does everything. It's like he does it the way you draw it up.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm just like, I don't know. In my opinion, on him on the team, it's like this dude does so much for that offense. It's crazy. He executes everything flawlessly, and he doesn't get the rock enough. Like, he should be the third down back for reals. Like, they need to start throwing him the ball. He's got great hands. That's just me, though.
Take a breath, Melissa. Take a breath. I can see you're about to.
I'm sorry. Every time I hear Kyle Juszczyk should get the ball more, I think of the freaking Packer game, and I just want to punch something because my brother would not leave me alone for that for at least 3.5 months. Oh, that was so awful.
What play against the Packers?
The one on short yardage where he had to get the ball and run it, and he couldn't even get a yard.
That was a terrible play call. Yeah, that's a terrible play call, though. I mean, that's a terrible play call.
I'm not saying it's all on Kyle Juszczyk, but that's like one of those games where that haunts me because my brother is a really obnoxious Packer fan, and he would not leave me alone after that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like I said, I get it, but yeah, I guess it's one of those things you just agree to disagree. To me, it's like that hasty play. That was a bad one too, where they threw it to him on that third.
Oh my gosh!
Against the Rams.
Yep. I still don't understand how Travis Benjamin was used last year. Like, that was one of the worst things I've ever seen. He had no chemistry with anybody, and he's in them at the most critical downs in the fourth quarter.
But they've addressed that. This offseason. Kyle has shown growth, Melissa. Come on. Positivity. We're beating that drum. But no, on a serious note, like what listening to you both, that's what we love this panel. It's respectful. Ron, Mav, don't always agree with what me and Ryan say.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is a second show I've done with yourself. I know Welshnick spoke very highly of you when I heard you were joining the team. Welshnick said that he knew. Obviously, he's met you and all the rest of it. And then we had a blast last week. And then this week, who thought we'd spend half an hour talking about juice? Brilliant. I love it. Let's keep going. You know, that's what we want to talk about, our team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like it. It's a different take. I would like to know more. It's something you can talk about because it's I mean,
I can already feel a special episode of that 9 Alive run. You and Melissa, the public this needs to go more in depth.
No.
Yeah,
because then at that point you're just pressing somebody to change their mind, and that's not me. I don't,
No, I didn't mean it that way. I mean, from my interaction with you, you've gone on your channel and you're giving people a voice. That's what I was meaning. Like, I was sat listening to both of you, thinking you're both speaking your points very well. You're not shouting over each other, and you've both agreed to disagree. And I'm sure, Melissa, when Juice catches that winning touchdown in one of the games next year, Ron won't remind you of that, or Mav won't remind you of that. Or
I don't.
Gav won't remind you of that. I know.
Bring it. I don't care. As long as the team wins, who cares?
Yeah. I know Mav's waiting for Kittle to drop the ball or something so he can come after Club 85. Don't worry.
He's just standing there. He's like,
Mav was trying to trade Kittle at the beginning of the offseason.
Only for trade, bro. Only for trade. But since he done jumped on the trade bandwagon, I'm cool with Kittle. We good. We got no problem.
Why do
That's
you
true.
think
He
that?
did say
Okay,
that.
but why do you think that Kittle doesn't love his quarterbacks? He has loved every single quarterback, even to this day. Despite my vehemence against it, he still won't say one bad word about Hoyer.
Well, that's what I reiterated myself. I said
I never understood the point where people think that Kittle of all players has issues with his quarterbacks.
Not per se he had issues, but it's like I even said this. You know what? I take whatever I said about Kittle. He deserves a freaking Oscar because the man is a hell of an actor. I mean, he made me like really the way he talked about the quarterback that was his quarterback. He made me feel like he had no kind of love for the new guy coming in. You know, he didn't say it. It's just his words. Like he would never really answer no question. Like you can tell when the other guys cannot answer a question about Trey Lance. They're like, no, not George Kittle. You know, blah, blah, blah. Like he just misdirect you, take you somewhere else. He doesn't say anything else. But now Jimmy's out the picture. It's Trey. It's all about his new wife. I'm like, you know what? Well, you deserve an Oscar. I like that. I'm cool with you now.
That I Am Athlete episode he did, Mav, that was really good. Where Kittle talked about
yes, him and Mohamed Sanu.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yes. That's what I'm like, dude. Listen, man. I mean, like, okay, you know what? I support this man for whoever he plays for, because he's gonna back his guy up. Whoever's on his team right now, that's who he's backing up. Whatever the coach asks him to do, that's what he does. Can't never really say nothing bad about him. It's just me with players. If you're not supporting the next guy coming up, then you don't need to be there. I have nothing against your skills, nothing against your talent. It's just we have to all gel together.
Yeah.
And if we're not gonna gel together, then what's the point? That was my whole argument with it. Yeah, that was my whole argument with it.
Yeah, I was curious because like there have been a bunch of people like that all over Twitter and podcasts and chats and stuff, and I never had the chance to get someone to just like say why they had that. Yeah,
that was. I would tell you off rip if I don't like somebody. Jimmy, I don't care if he was the winner, the breadwinner. Dude, get your ass out of here. I don't want you. You know, like Alden Smith. I was in love with the guy. But at the same time, he was not helping my organization. He was not helping my team by either being injured or suspended for stupidity. Like, dude, I don't need you at that point.
Yeah. I get you.
So how'd you really feel about Hoyer the Destroyer then, Mav?
No, I honestly, bro, I like that Hoyer, man. I felt like he was a good. I mean, he still is a good QB. He can do a little something, but he's just not that guy that, you know, you got to put all the weight on his shoulders. You know, then you're just gonna end up doing what you're doing now. You feel me? Bashing him because he was part of two great legendary organizations, the Patriots and the 49ers. So you expect a lot out of somebody wearing those jerseys. That's where I come with the conclusion of it depends on who's your coach, the team that you're playing for, and the people that you surround yourself around. That makes you who you are at the end of the day.
I think Brian Hoyer was like the one person that was truly set up to fail.
Yeah, I can see that.
The Bears are who we thought they were.
I was waiting for that.
So is that why you've not got your camera on, Ron? You're in mid-design. You've got your notebook and your design. I can't wait to see these t-shirts, Ron. You've bigged these t-shirts.
Hey, I am in the lab as we speak, drawing up ideas for this new Hoyer the Destroyer merch that's gonna be hot.
Wow, that's crazy.
Am I the only one who doesn't want to ever hear Trey area ever again out of Niners game? Because that almost like ruined it for me last year in the preseason.
You're gonna hear it a
lot. Oh, that's my second slogan, and the juice is loose is my third.
Like Trey area.
The juice is loose.
The actual like phrase Trey area, I like that. I just didn't like the way that Papa said it in that one game. And then it was played over and over and over again everywhere it went.
Let juice loose. Huh?
I don't think
J2K.
You haven't got enough characters for your bio at the moment, Ron. You're spitting fire here. You're gonna have to have a second account.
Oh, I got bars for days, Paul.
Anyway, anyone tuning in for the first time, we are like this every week. I promise. You don't want to miss this. This is fire.
How about that Trey to the Gray connection?
I
if
think
Trey stay healthy, Gray stay healthy.
I think Ayuk is coming. Ayuk, the
Oh,
one.
man, don't say that.
Why?
But the
What's
injuries
wrong
are
with you,
about
man?
healthy. Don't say injuries. Come on, don't say injuries at all. Okay, please. Don't do that.
Man, it's part of the game, right? It's part of the game.
Mav,
I
I
don't
know
even
you
know
for
how
a
to-
while now. I know how you are, so.
Thank you for watching the red and gold.
There you go. Like honestly, didn't he just get injured? Like what? The last mini camp or something like that.
That's why they said that they canceled this camp already because Danny Gray was dealing with some stuff. Charlie Warner was dealing with some stuff, so they didn't want to keep tempting fate. And
Yep. Thank you, Melissa.
What was it,
I was about to say
hamstring?
that too. You took the words out of my mouth, literally. Yeah, that's the reason why they stopped it because Danny Gray was not coming back next week. So they said, and plus a couple more guys that got injured. So I know I said injury, but that's the reason why he stopped.
Damn it! See, it's starting already, man.
Yeah, I know. I hate saying it too. I hate thinking about it.
I've always
I
asked,
do.
but see, honestly, speaking of injuries, I've always asked myself, like, is it the way we train?
yes,
And do we have the right training staff? Also,
I think we've dealt with that already in the past, right?
yeah, we did.
I think it's crazy because there's no way that I know this is going to get a reaction that a player should be able to get a concussion through a walkthrough. Like there's just something hinky about what Shanahan does at these practices that these players keep getting these injuries, and it's not like it's different injuries. Like that one year, like I was telling Ryan, I hated the term low ankle sprain because like everybody and their mother was getting one, or the high ankle sprain. Like there's just something weird that goes on with those practices. Because there's no reason why like 13 different players should be getting the same injury over and over and over again.
I agree.
Maybe that's why they've cut this one short, Melissa, and maybe they are learning the lessons. I mean, unfortunately, they are part and parcel of the game. It's why you carry so many players at this point. It's why the rosters get cut down. It's why Jimmy hasn't been cut. Let's face it, the 49ers are hedging their bets and they're waiting to see whether someone goes down in training camp because, you know, at 1 hour and 57 minutes, I've dropped that in and Ryan's thinking we're about to wrap up. You know, that could be another episode. But
You've been on a podcast with Browns fans, right? Paul?
no,
On Shan Club?
I don't think I've been on when the Browns fans have been on.
Okay, well...
I'm not a regular on there yet. I'm trying to be, but I'm not quite there yet. Ryan's ahead of me in the pecking order.
So, which team do you think would be more toxic to let their former quarterback back? Because I think it's both Baker and Jimmy. I don't think either one of them should ever go back to those buildings again. It's just asking for trouble.
Oh, I agree. I mean, I was watching our good friend John V on the locker room rant, and he was going at it with the Browns fan on there. Is it Nick? I think he's called.
Nick.
I thought John V was going to explode. I was, to be fair, it took me a couple of days to watch it, Melissa.
Nick
because
purposely
Gavin, no injuries.
pushes John's buttons on that show.
Well,
to be fair,
I'd gone to watch it the other day because they record late at night for me in the UK. So I'd gone to watch it the next morning, and YouTube had said it was banned. I thought this is going to be gold if it's banned in the UK. So I texted John V and said, "Why is your show banned?" It was something to do with copyright. So I only watched it yesterday. But yeah, I mean,
did John ever tell you about the night that he got banned 3 times by YouTube?
No, I haven't heard that one yet.
Okay, so there's this night that so there's this podcast. It's called The Locker Room Rant. It's a Bills fan. It's a Browns fan. It's John, the Niners fan. And then they have all different basketball fandoms. They have like across the board, they're different on almost every single thing that they watch. But they're 3 lifelong friends from Ohio. So Tony has this thing where he likes doing different sounds and playing different music, which gets them in a lot of trouble. and they had been getting progressively more strikes. So Tony's like, one night he just says fuck it, and he just starts playing Alicia Keys and Miley Cyrus and all these big time artists. And then what was the worst one was the finals. I think it was last year. John decided to have the NBA on in the background, and he has this big old TV. So what happened was the NBA blocked them off YouTube for about a week and a half or 2 weeks, all because the freaking game for the Cavaliers was in the background from the NBA.
That's great. I mean, it was banned in the UK because Tony had played some music, but because I had highlighted it to John, they had to take it off. But they talk, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get into the Deshaun Watson thing at 2 hours. I have to shoot off in a minute because it's 8 o'clock UK time, and I've got a 9, 12, and 15-year-old to feed, and I can hear them coming up the stairs. So I think at that point, Ryan, I'm going to shoot out at this point. But
don't worry, I was gonna let you go. Don't worry, I was just doing some stuff here.
Thanks for having me on, and obviously
problem,
You should
no
definitely go on LLR. Give John some backup because Nick needs a reality check every once in a while. He's too in love with Jimmy.
Yeah, Nick said he would definitely come on, but he's too broken up from his.
Oh no, he good. I mean, we're gonna get off. I'm following Paul right out the door.
I'll see you next week.
See you next week.
I want to
everybody.
get me something to eat. All I heard was, "When you going? We gotta go. You ready? We gotta go." All right, catch you guys later.
Bye,
All right, later, Mav. So it came down to us. Okay. I know I wanted to share something for Paul before I got off.
It's good to see you in the chat, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, he just messaged me saying he's too broken up from Flag Day today. So I said, don't worry, man. Don't worry about coming in. Don't worry about it. It's all good. See you next week. It's all. It's all good. My phone's gonna go blow me now. I hate what happens. Okay.
Gavin, it was nice to see you and Pano also in the chat today.
Okay, Rubes. Happy birthday to you, okay? I know I did it yesterday, but I'll do it again. Happy birthday to you, girl. Hope you enjoy your sneakers. All right? All right. So, hey, what we got now? Bye, Paul. Nice to meet you, Gavin. So, you see here. Yeah, I do want to say something about this one thing before.
Okay.
It was from Pamela Queen. I was going to talk about earlier when you guys were talking, but I didn't want to cut in front of you. I think Anthony Lynn's going to help out Juice a lot in this offense.
You know what? I was impressed that Anthony Lynn, one of his first acts was making Juice hold on to that machine for like, what was it? 2.5 minutes. And Juice was talking about like how brutal it was. I was like, okay, I really respect the Anthony Lynn hire when he's going right after like the big top names. And he's like, no, you're going to do something you've never done before. And I'm going to push you to your limits.
Gavin, awesome talking to you, Melissa, as well. Or talk to you as Melissa. There you go. Yeah, Izzy, Melissa. She goes by both of them.
I prefer Izzy from Friends, and Gavin is definitely Friends.
Missy. Don't call her Missy. That's one thing you don't want to call her.
No, it's the L one, but that's fine too.
I'm a queen, spinning facts.
Yes, she is. She's awesome.
She's amazing, man.
She is one of the most badass fans, and she is the absolute queen on the Real Talk chat. Who's just a joy to watch on there.
Hey, Gav, hope you're well, bud.
So what do you think about everything?
Well, I'm kind of glad they cut OTAs. I'm kind of glad of it because I didn't want to have any more injuries. Knock on wood. There you go. I was waiting for it to go real slow with it. I didn't want to do it, but I said injuries, so I'm doing it. But
this is how I watch games now. I always have my fingers crossed.
Believe me, every time I see somebody laying down on the ground, oh my god.
It did not help my nerves when Bosa actually over dramatized his in the Vikings game because he wanted the fan reaction.
That's so true. So true. Yeah. I mean, it's unbearable that you got to keep your players healthy. I know it's kind of hard to do, but football's football. Like Coach Shanny always says.
Hmm.
What's up, Coach Ron? You all right? You popped back in. Yeah, we're about to get off. Just wanted to go through some stuff here. Of course, I'm still getting comments coming in.
So, Ryan, what do you think of the offensive line?
Offensive line, I think it's going to do good. It's going to do good. Have faith in them no matter what. And with Trent Williams in that line, he is a veteran, so I think he's going to help out whoever. He's going to help him out, whoever it is. He's going to help out no matter what. And with that new guy, Brett, because Trent Williams said high hopes for that kid. He did. This presser. He likes that kid. He said, I can't believe how fast he moved for his size.
It was Brendel and Poe that Trent praised.
Brendel is the biggest. I don't know his size.
I don't know about that, Kevin. I think that the bigger vets that haven't really had a chance to produce on the field are the bigger questions. So like a Colton McKivitz or these guys that have been kind of borderline this whole time that haven't really been able to because we had Tom Compton on the team. I think those are my bigger questions than the newer guys.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how big he is or the biggest, but I know that Trent Williams had high hopes for the kid. He says he
I think
good,
we all can agree, though. We just want a center that sticks around, and we don't have to constantly have this constant changing every
we have to keep on going
2
for
to 3
veterans.
weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's the one reason why, like, I'm glad we didn't go for JC Tritter because I thought it was going to be like the same situation when we have a Weston Richburger, we have like a Ben Garland, someone stable, but they just couldn't stay healthy enough to be in all the time.
I got you. Yeah, same with me. I mean, I'm the same way. So, any closing thing about training camp or OTAs for you want to say?
I have hope, and I haven't had hope for the depth guys for a really long time because Shanahan has had his favorite.
Leave me no choice. Keep the faith, never lose hope. You know how I am, people. You know how I am. That's me all the way. There you go. Continue.
So yeah, I think we have a lot of questions right now, and it's normal for people to freak out, but I think this is a good thing. I think we're finally getting out of that rut, and I think there's gonna be new life and passion and toughness in our team now. So I see good things.
Honestly, though, Nick the Kingsman. Super Bowl. Hell yeah, Nick. You got that right, brother.
I mean, neither one of us really thinks there's going to be like a ton of losses on this schedule of ours. So
I love the schedule. Everybody, all the guys know it. I love the schedule. I do. I believe in that. We will go undefeated. But if there is a couple losses, I know one's probably going to be one at the end. Because if we sit our guys, we're running our second and third stringers. I say we're probably going to lose either the Commanders. Is it Lambs or not the Lambs? Yeah, Cardinals or the other team. I forgot all three of them in a row. But one or two of those games we're going to lose. I say if we're going to lose any games. But to me,
There's always going to be those overlooked games, like when you have like, let's say, a Falcon game or a Miami game shoved in there right before, like, or right after a big matchup against like a Brady or Rodgers or someone like that. Like those are the kind of games that sneak in there and usually end up hurting us the most.
Yeah.
The not, I wouldn't call them letdown games. I'd call them the Shanahan gets too in love with himself and gets cute games.
I got you. Yeah, I mean, for me, for OTAs, we did real good. I know I had it pulled up already, but I'm not going to share. I'm just going to tell you what stand. The winners of minicamp were Trey Lance, number one. Number 2, Raymond McLeod, wide receiver. JJ, for me, it's JJ. Jawan Jennings for you guys. Jawan Jennings, wide receiver. Number 3. Number 4.
Jawan Jennings.
Yeah. Number 4. Take a good guess who number 4 is. The last one.
I know who is not on your list for me.
A little small hint.
I know who it is on my list that you haven't said, but I don't know who is on your list. I'd say Talanoa Funga has to be on that list.
Nope. He wasn't on the list.
All right,
Just put it this way. He was a draft pick this year.
Okay.
Number 1 draft pick we had. DJ. Well, at least I call him DJ. Drake
Jackson, yeah.
Yep, number 4. And all I know for a fact I had it down to the other guys who didn't work out for losers. Definitely. Well, he wasn't a loser, but he got hurt with Danny Gray. Danny Gray. I can't say his first name. Lenore.
DeAndre Lenore. Yes.
Yeah, I can never say his first name for some reason. I don't know why.
There's a lot of O's.
In case you wonder, people, I went to a special needs school when I was a kid. And it was for my speeching. So yes, I'm not autistic or nothing, but my son is. But
you can call him Demo. A lot of people call him Demo.
Demo sounds better, actually. I can say Demo. It is. And of course, the last guy they talked about was Nate Stuffield. And I still don't know why he's on the team still.
You know who also seemed to get a lot of hate from camp from what was talked about was Ambry for some reason.
Ambry Thomas, yeah. I mean, he deserved some talk last year. He actually did pretty good. He wasn't great, but he did pretty good. He was.
I just think that these guys haven't really been able to move past their mistakes. And I think Shanahan expects kind of too much from them. And I know that's a weird thing to say, but it's the way he handled Pettis and Witherspoon, and I know these guys had their own issues, don't get me wrong, but I think that he could have handled it better. And I hope how Ayuk spoke up against him will teach him to be better in the future, but that's one of my big issues with Shanahan.
Yeah. I'm sure everybody has their issues with Shanahan because how he is, like what Coach Ron said earlier about there
are some people like the Jimmy Sexuals where you can't say one bad word about the coach.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Jimmy, yes. Definitely Jimmy. That guy drove me nuts last year. Oh my God. I won't go specific details. I'll just stay. I watched that Dallas game in the wild card game.
The worst one was the Titans game right before Christmas. It's crazy. Everyone seems to forget that there was a finger and shoulder injury, and no one talks about the finger.
Yep.
I constantly remember every freaking presser. He goes, I can't grip the ball right. My finger's not right. It's so hard to kind of change my throwing motion. I'm no expert, but it didn't even look like he was gripping the ball differently.
Mm-hmm.
I think when Jimmy has these really bad games, injuries pop up.
Gotcha. Yeah. It's a good mixed schedule. the AFC West in Tampa Bay games. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to lose to Tom Brady. I'm sorry. I do not want to lose Tom Brady. I don't want to at all.
I don't.
Then
I don't want to lose to Miami.
because if
That-
they
that-
do, if we do
That
lose
Miami
against Tampa
game
Bay,
is so.
we're gonna definitely hear it. Critics are gonna hear it. Critics are gonna give us a lot of that because why you should have went for Tom Brady. See that? He won the Super Bowl and he beat you guys.
Okay, but I hate to break it to those people, but there's no way Tom Brady would have won the Super Bowl with our roster in 2020 with all the injuries.
So true. So true. Got you.
I mean, that was like a really special team, and as much as Tom Brady did for that offense in giving it stability, which Jameis couldn't do, that defense is the reason why they were so dominant.
Got you.
Vita Vea, Jason Pierre-Paul, Devin White, all of those guys were really healthy and really dominant. I mean, they shook Patrick Mahomes. No one had shook Patrick Mahomes like that before.
Speaking of that, I was watching the pressure. I was listening to Trent Williams. Some one of the reporters asked about Aaron Donald's new contract situation that he's got.
That is such a shame to do.
I was waiting Trent Williams to say something different. 'Cause I don't give a shit what he got. Why would I give a shit about him? We don't like we hang out with beer, go for beers or anything. I'm like, why are you asking that stupid question for? I'm sorry.
They do the same thing with Tebow all the time.
Mhm.
Tebow, have you and Aaron become friends yet? Tebow, have you and this? It's like the jersey swap thing is cool, and the pictures like from different people at the end of games was nice, but you don't have to be friends with your arch rivals or just players around the league like that.
All depends if you go to them later on in the seasons that something went wrong, then you go to get traded over to that team. That's when you can become friends, of course. But who knows? Who knows how they think? But I'm gonna close it down, and then we had a great show today. It was great. You know, I loved all of you guys for coming in here and doing your thing. So first of all, I'm gonna go through the comments. A lot of comments. Probably most we ever had. Pamela Queen, thank you so much, girl. Thank you so much. Really, thank you. And I damn well I actually saved one of them actually. Now I gotta figure where it was now. I think I saved it, but it's in my list. That's why. There you go.
Panama is awesome.
There you go. I didn't know she was from Jersey. That's cool. Hey, I've been Jersey all my life, girl. Don't worry, I've been there all my life.
He's got south, I got north.
So let me see here. No one's in here now? No new ones. Okay. So, Pamela Queen, thank you very much, girl. And of course, Gavin. Now I know your name, Gavin. I can always remember your name because the band Bush, their head singer is Gavin. That's how I can remember your name. Look them on YouTube if you have YouTube over there. Look up Bush, Bush. They're a rock band, and his first name is Gavin.
Gavin Rossdale.
Yep. I'm a fan of him too. I like Bush. And 1 second, sorry. I know Nick Kingman always asks me what happens too. Okay, who else? Yep, got you. That's all it was. Yep. And of course, Nick Kingsman. Yeah, bud. Don't worry about the show, bud. This weekend, I'll see you next weekend. All right. I know you're broken up because of that football you guys did today. And give a shout out to Ashley, and hope Ashley's doing good. Give him say hi to him for us if you can. All right, Nick. So that'd be great, bud. So now, down to nitty gritty. I want to thank my guys, especially Mav, for coming in here and doing his thing.
Ron and Paul.
Oh, got you. Thank you very much.
And that was fun.
And I want to give definitely a shout out to Tony, because Tony wasn't here for a couple minutes, but his service said it stinks. So shout out to Tony. MBN Niners. Go
Also,
follow
New
them.
Jersey faithful.
Yep. Exactly. So they're a bunch of great guys, especially Nine and Mike. And you can follow him, and of course, Mike Andrews. I'm pretty sure that's his real name. Go follow him. Great guy.
It's easy to find him if you type out actually Michael, his actual first name, and then Andrews.
Gotcha. Michael Andrews. My bad. I should say Michael Andrews, not Mike Andrews. My bad on that guy. Sorry. So, and of course, to Melissa. That's how you follow her. Okay. She did a wonderful job, like always, like she always does. So, just saying. And of course, you can follow Mavocado, or a convo with Mavocado as his Twitter handle. 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, Tuesdays on YouTube and IG. That in Our Life with Coach Ron. That's Twitter handle, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Mondays nights on YouTube and Twitter. And of course, coming soon, by SD. That's Twitter handle. And of course, he says he's working on it, but glitches now and then because of his laptop he has. That's why I was going to tell him, get a new laptop. That way you'll be okay. Of course, I'm going to get a shout out to Paul, 49er Faithful UK. Paul, that's his Twitter handle, Club85.
And if anybody who listens to this, please help both Nick and Paul try to further their cause and help get the UK Niner fans some gear and some notoriety, because I promise you they are diehard, they are smart, they are loyal, and they are fun and wonderful men, not just fans. And what they are doing is a really great service. I'm assuming it's not going to just affect them, but it's going to affect all UK fans. So if you can retweet or help get their message out, that would be really respected and appreciated.
I never turned down a donation from a woman that says something on a show. Never at all. So thank you, Melissa, for saying all that. Thank you very much. And of course, definitely shout out to Ron, Coach Ron, Mikey, and of course, Drewski and TJ. All right. All right, peoples, we're going to be out of here. We'll see you on the other side. Seeing, hopefully, I don't know if Coach Ron's going to be doing a show tomorrow night, but I guess we'll all know as soon as he puts it up there. So if not, you'll see Red and Gold again, hopefully next Thursday, and we'll see you next weekend on here. All right? Keep the faith. Never lose hope, guys. All right? We're out of here. Later.
Bye.
Bye.